Judge is handing out autographs right now, but over the last 6 games, his Bombers have been dishing out punishment to opposing pitching, including last night. They've scored at least 10 runs 4 times over the stretch, with Anthony Volpe's 9th-inning homer tacking on 2 of them. It's led to 3 wins so far on this trip, and they'll chase another tonight as they take on the Mariners in Game 2 of this 3-game set on a Tuesday night at T-Mobile Park in Washington. Runs could come at a premium tonight with this pitching matchup. For the Yankees, it's Max Fried, who's 6-0 and owns baseball's best ERA at 105. On the other side, it's Mariners righty Bryan Woo, who's 4-1 and has racked up 44 strikeouts against just 8 walks this season. Welcome inside our Yes Network studios alongside Jack Curry. I am Chris Sheeran. This is the FanDuel Sportsbook Yankees pregame show. Jack, we mentioned those numbers about the offense rolling early on, but lately, so are the starters.
The offense has been great, but I'm going right back to pitching. And the gentleman that you mentioned for the Yankees and Max Fried, the Yankees were so eager to sign him. He was eager to become a Yankee and head into that pitching laboratory. And Chris, we're all eager to watch him. For Max Fried, it's about right here and right now. How can he help the Yankees win a game? It's the beauty of baseball, but whatever happened the night before, you've got another game coming at you fast, and the Yankees are excited to see Fried on the mound. His mix of pitches has been electric. He has totally shut down offenses throughout this season. And in every start that he has made, the Yankees have won the game. They're 8-0 in games that Fried has started.
Can't wait till he toes it up tonight. Time to head out to Seattle, where Meredith Marakovitz is standing by with the Ford Clubhouse report. And we begin, Meredith, with the Morgan & Morgan injury report. Oswaldo Cabrera was put on the injured list earlier today. Last night, after that injury, we saw just how much he means to his teammates.
No doubt about it. That was tough to watch, and you can see the concern on all of his teammates' faces as things were unfolding at home plate. And even when I went in the clubhouse after the game, it wasn't a lot of talking about the win, what happened throughout the course of that game. It was all about Oswaldo Cabrera, what he means to them as a teammate, and how they just hoped that he was going to be okay. Earlier today, I asked Aaron Boone whether or not he was able to check in with Cabrera before he left for New York.
I did. I got to go to the hospital and see him last night late, so it's great to see him. And classic Cabby, he was in amazing spirits and making us feel good and grateful to see us all, and he was feeling good at that point. And I think all things considered, the early rounds of things, good news considering, they didn't have to do emergency surgery and things like that. So hopefully over the next couple of days, we know exactly what we're dealing with and start the mending process. But then a lot of guys were able to see him down in the lobby too today before he left for his flight. So I would say he's doing great. I mean, honestly, it's Cabby. He was smiling, happy, and trust he's in good hands.
What is the course of action for him, Aaron?
So he's flying back today. He'll see Dr. Greisberg tomorrow, and then kind of get the plan of action. Surgery in play potentially the next day, and but we'll have a better idea here as the next 24 hours, 48 hours, just exactly what they're dealing with.
And no timeline, as you heard Aaron Boone say, on Oswaldo Cabrera. Certainly wish him a speedy recovery, whatever that timeline is. Noteworthy, since he went on the IL, the Yankees activated DJ LeMahieu. I asked Aaron Boone how he intends to use LeMahieu, and it's kind of a wait and see. They expect him to play primarily second base, but will he be an everyday player? Will he be a platoon guy? That really depends on how he looks when he gets opportunity. He is not in tonight's starting lineup, but he is expected to make the start tomorrow. Aaron Boone said DJ LeMahieu is available off the bench. When I spoke to DJ LeMahieu just a short while ago, he said his ego has been checked at the door a long time ago. He told Aaron Boone anything he needs from him, any way he can help, he is willing to do anything to help this team win. He's certainly glad to be back. He expressed frustration over not only this injury, but some of the nagging injuries over the last couple of years. Right now, he reports that he feels good, he feels healthy, and he is just ready to contribute to this team. So no DJ LeMahieu in there at second base. Instead, it's going to be Yorvit Vivas at second base. Oswald Peraza is in there at third. Peraza said he's mostly thinking of his teammate and good friend Oswaldo Cabrera, but did say that certainly any opportunity that comes his way, he is going to try to make the most of. It's really going to be a mix of Oswald Peraza, also maybe Vivas a little bit at third base. You could see LeMahieu there occasionally, also Pablo Reyes. So Aaron Boone said it's going to be a work in progress, deciding exactly what direction they want to go. A lot of it is going to depend on the hot hand. A lot of it is going to depend on the matchup. Also noteworthy, it's going to be Jason Dominguez DHing today, so it'll be Bellinger again in left, Trent Grisham in center, and Aaron Judge in right field. Speaking of Trent Grisham, what a start he is off to this season. He hit 2 home runs last night, 12 on the season. When you look at his career high, it is 17. He's had 12 just 41 games in. I asked Aaron Boone what he's been making of the early power from Trent Grisham.
He's just in a great spot. I think speaks to his talent. I think speaks to, just where he's at and his preparation and his process and where I know he's talked a lot about just being mentally in a really good place and going up there and executing his plan. And I think that's just something that comes with maturity and stuff. And again, these things come in different ways, and some guys pop right away in their career. Other guys, sometimes it's a little bit later, but the quality of the at-bat has been there from jump.
And let's take a look at the American League home run leaders right now. 2 Yankees in that top 3, Aaron Judge and Trent Grisham. Oh, we also have a Mariner in there, and Cal Raleigh at number 2 in the American League with 13 home runs so far. Jack, as you mentioned, Max Fried is on the mound this evening, and he has certainly been as advertised, if not more, for the Yankees. 6-0. The Yankees are 8-0 in his starts. He's pitching to an ERA just over 1, and opposing batters are hitting a paltry 187 against him. I spoke with Aaron Boone earlier, and I asked him, when he knows that Max Fried is getting the ball, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Versatile. Might be something different on a different day, but when you just ask me, versatile. Like, he's got so many different ways to beat you, and that's been evident in every start he's made so far. Just the amount of things he can do on the mound, from movement quality of his pitches to changing speeds and velocity, to beating you with secondary, to beating you with the fastball, to beating you with his athleticism on the mound. He's just very versatile in what he can do out there.
What do you think of his pickoff move?
Amazing.
Do you think it straddles the line?
Absolutely not. I think I told this at some point, but he picked off Harrison Bader in 2023 when we were in Atlanta. If you remember, when we were in Atlanta in 2023, it's about the low point of our season. We were coming off a really tough loss in Miami, and the Braves beat the brakes off us that series. And Fried picked off Bader at first base when they were killing us, and I was so mad at Harrison. And now seeing it more and more, like, I have a little more forgiveness in my heart for it. It's really good.
You gonna tell him that when you're in Minnesota?
You know what? I actually might, because I'm sure he remembers me yelling at him pretty good. So I might have to. He still shouldn't have got picked off in that situation, but now that I've seen it, it's pretty impressive.
Hey, we'll check back on that when the Yankees play the Twins. But for now, let's take a look back. I'm sorry, Harrison Bader, Max Fried on the mound, August 14th, 2023. And he got you right there. That's what Aaron Boone was talking about. Great pickoff move out of Max Fried. The Yankees did not like it there. They like it now that he is on their team. And we have seen it several times, guys, throughout this season already. 3 pickoffs by Max Fried so far this year, and counting, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that Minnesota series so we can see if that follows through and he pays it off, Meredith. Thank you so much. We appreciate it as always. We'll see it throughout the game and on the post-game show as well. We take a look now at the Yankees lineup presented by Toyota. Trent Grisham led a multi-hit attack by the lineup last night with his 2 homers and 3 overall hits. Aaron Judge, Cody Bellinger, Paul Goldschmidt, and Anthony Volpe also had 2 hits apiece in the Yankees' 11-5 opening game win last night. And Jack, we heard Meredith talk about Oswaldo Cabrera obviously being out on the injured list, DJ LeMahieu coming back. How do you see this playing out?
Well, in losing Cabrera, Chris, that's a player who started 30 of the 41 games at third base. So suddenly the Yankees are trying to fill in that spot. LeMahieu is going to get a run. The Yankees want to see who DJ LeMahieu is right now. We know the struggles that he has had. Can he be reminiscent of the player who's won batting titles in his career? The Yankees are keeping their fingers crossed that LeMahieu has something left. Peraza is going to get some at-bats. Vivas is going to get a look. Reyes as well. I would like to see Peraza get an extended look, Chris. He was one of my X factors or kind of under-the-radar players in spring training, of someone who I was intrigued by whether or not he was going to get a decent amount of at-bats. He didn't while Cabrera was healthy, and Cabrera was manning that position. Let's see if he does going forward.
All right, Jack, all season long here on Yes, we want to invite you viewers to show us the different ways you support the Bronx Bombers. Use the QR code on screen with the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and post pictures to social media that reflect your love for the Yankees. We might spotlight you in a future game. Pinstripe Pride is brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Just getting started here on the FanDuel Yankees pregame, and yesterday it was Trent Grisham who got things going for the Bombers offense. Coming up next, we'll break down his success, so stick around on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. The Yankees pregame show on Yes is presented by FanDuel. All FanDuel customers can make every dinger on Tuesdays mean more with a profit boost from FanDuel. The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Hyundai dealers. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Visit HyundaiUSA.com today.
So when most major leaguers grip a bat, they clasp it, almost like the way you would have a fist. But you have your own distinctive way of holding a bat. I was wondering if you could show us why you keep those thumbs upward and demonstrate why that works for you.
Well, I was weak when I was younger. So the bat would just kind of dangle in my hands, and it would sit in the back of my hands, and I really just didn't have any control of it. So coach just told me, hey, put the bat in your fingertips. Just when you're taking a few swings, put your thumbs on the bat. And I liked how it felt. So I stayed with it.
Jack, you talked to Trent back in mid-April, and all these adjustments that he's made are really starting to pay off.
Yeah, he adopted that in high school, eventually becomes a first-round pick with the thumbs upward. The Brewers allowed him to do it for a little while in their organization. Then they had him switch. He didn't perform well. He said, I'm going back to what has worked. And, of course, the hitter knows himself best. And I think what he knows about himself best this year, Chris, was both the physical and the mental needed to match. First week of the season, I found it interesting that a couple of times unsolicited, he talked about the mental side of the game and needing to make sure that his mindset was where it needed to be. Gary Phillips of the Daily News did an in-depth article on that today about Grisham speaking with sports psychologists and just making sure the mind is where it needs to be. We know the offense is exactly where it needs to be for him.
Absolutely, Jack. And some major news from Commissioner Rob Manfred today. Pete Rose and 8 members of the 1919 Chicago Black Sox, including shoeless Joe Jackson, are among 17 previously banned players who are now eligible for the Hall of Fame after Manfred lifted their punishments. The news for Rose, baseball's all-time hit king, who was banned from baseball in 1989, comes 8 months after his death. Both he and Jackson could be eligible under the Classic Baseball Era Committee, which next meets in December of 2027. Jack, this has been debated for so long throughout the years. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's some jarring news because we know that Pete Rose tried to get reinstated while he was living, and now when he passes on, Manfred makes the decision that since he has passed on, he's no longer permanently ineligible. Chris, I think this is going to be interesting to find out who is going to be on the committee. because there will be 16 members of that committee, and if he is on the ballot, 12 of the 16 have to check Pete Rose and say that, yes, Rose is someone they believe belongs in the Hall of Fame. We know he bet on baseball. We know that for 15 years he lied about betting on baseball. We also know he's the all-time hit leader. So that committee will include writers, executives, historians, and former players. When we know who's on that committee, Chris, this is going to be a great hot stove topic on the Yes Network in 2027.
Yes, it will be. December 2027, we await that time. Max Fried has made 8 starts this season, and the Yankees have come away with 8 wins. Up next on the FanDuel Yankees pregame, we'll tell you what to expect from the Southpaw tonight. Stick around. Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com.
Good evening, Yankees fans. I'm News 12 meteorologist Matt Hammer with your game day forecast. The Yankees, of course, again away in Seattle this evening. At first pitch in Seattle, a mix of sun and clouds. Temperatures around 64 degrees. There will be gradually increasing clouds throughout the later innings, and certainly after the game it will be mostly cloudy, but it will be dry the entire game with temperatures falling back into the 50s by the time the game wraps up later on tonight. Enjoy the game.
Jack, you mentioned it earlier with Max Fried. 8-0 the team is in his 8 starts this season. He's 6-0 with that 105 ERA, but it's been about control and command every time he hits the mound.
He's such an artist on the mound, Chris. 47 strikeouts, only 11 walks. Meredith mentioned the 187 batting average against, but how about against his fastball? The batting average is only 131. Strikeout percentage is around 40%. And he throws at an average of around 94. But, Chris, it's not just the velocity. It's the location. He'll throw it up in the zone. He'll throw it to the corners. He is as precise as it gets. StatCast ranks his fastball as one of the best pitches in the majors.
And Jack Fried's opponent tonight is righty Brian Wu. When we take a look at his arsenal, courtesy of StatCast 3D, powered by Google Cloud, he relies heavily on fastballs. His 4-seamer and 2-seamer account for 68% of his pitches this season. He will mix in a slider, sweeper, and change as well. And so far this season, it's been about efficiency and durability.
That's the thing about Wu that stands out for me, Chris, is the efficiency and the ability to go deeper in games. He has pitched 6+ innings in all 7 starts this year. You pointed out the mix that he will bring to the mound. I mentioned that Fried is someone who's all about precision. Look at Wu right there. 44 strikeouts, 8 walks. He is going to make the Yankees get him in trouble. He is not going to get himself in trouble.
Loosening up with a football out there in the outfield. Maybe there's a Seahawks scout or 2 in the stands. We take a look at Seattle's lineup, brought to you by Toyota. The Mariners have lost a season-high 4 games in a row. These 9 bats will be charged with trying to snap that against Yankees ace Max Fried. Cal Raleigh, he hit his 13th home run last night. And Julio Rodriguez, he has 4 homers in his last 14 games. Quick note before we step aside, on Monday, May 19th, Jazz Chisholm is hosting the 2nd annual Tunnel Fits and Kicks charity fashion show, benefiting the Jazz Chisholm Foundation. This red carpet event includes a live auction, cocktail reception, and will conclude with a fashion show. For more information, visit jazzchisholmfoundation.org. One last break on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Still to come, we'll get Jack's key to the game as we approach first pitch in Seattle. Keep it locked in on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com. The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Cadillac. Spring is the season for new beginnings, and it's the best time to get behind the wheel of a sophisticated new Cadillac SUV. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer today.
It's time for the pregame odds segment presented by FanDuel. And the Bombers broke out the bats again yesterday to win the first game in the Emerald City. For tonight's same-game parlay, let's go with Aaron Judge to hit a dinger, Trent Grisham to record 2+ total bases, and Max Fried to strike out 6 or more. That parlay comes in at plus 858. All FanDuel customers can make every dinger on Tuesdays mean more with the profit boost from FanDuel.
As we take a look at Aaron Judge in the cage, we take a look at the home run leaders in the American League this season, and all three of these players will be in action tonight. Judge leading the way with 14, tied with Kyle Schwarber of the Phillies for the Major League lead. And Jack, this leads us to your key to the game.
Chris, the Yankees have scored 56 runs and hit 16 homers in their last 6 games. So that could very easily be a key, but this is how great Max Fried is. I'm making Max Fried the key. I'm going with Max's mighty mix being the important element that is going to lead the Yankees to a win tonight. He has been so good for the Yankees. I think coming to the Yankees, we've seen a great pitcher become even greater by working with the Yankee pitching group and the pitching gurus that they have. I expect that Fried will go out there tonight and be able to shut down the Mariners.
All right, Jack, that's going to do it for us here on the FanDuel Yankees pregame show. Coming up next from the Pacific Northwest, it's Game 2 of a 3-game set between the Yankees and the Mariners. Justin Shackle, Jeff Nelson, and Meredith Marakovitz are on the call. Jack and I will see you for the post-game show. Enjoy it, everyone. It's coming up next on Yes and streaming on the Gotham Sports app.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
It's another terrific spring afternoon in the Pacific Northwest. Prime conditions for a potential quick series win. The Yankees took the opener last night. They will go for their 3rd straight series win as they play the middle game here against the Mariners. It's the Yes Network presenting New York Yankees baseball. Yanks and M's in the middle game of this 3-game set from T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Yankees baseball. Along with Jeff Nelson, I'm Justin Shackle. Yankees took the opener last night 11-5, but a scary scene late. Jeff, Oswaldo Cabrera fracturing his ankle at a play at home plate. He was put on the injured list earlier today. DJ LeMahieu reinstated from the 10-day IL after missing the first 41 games. He's not in the starting lineup tonight. 2 young Yankees, Oswald Peraza, Jorby Vivas, they are, and it's a chance for them to step up.
Yeah, you never want to see someone go down with an injury. You hate to see it, but it does open a door for some of these young players like Peraza. He's going to get a chance at third. We know he can do it defensively. He can play a decent shortstop. He can play second as well. We just need to see that bat, the power. And Vivas, also a very good defender. He can get some time at third base as well. He's in at second tonight. And he is a very patient hitter. He's a singles guy. He works to count. Both these guys are going to get opportunity in multiple positions.
Now you see 12 starts for Peraza on the season. He's making his 11th start at third base tonight. Vivas is making his 8th start at second base. They will both be at the bottom of the Yankee lineup tonight. And they're going to be playing behind the Yankees ace. Max Fried has been terrific. 2 earned runs or fewer in all of his starts here this season. The Yankees feel pretty good when it's his day to take the ball.
Well, they've won all 8 of Max Fried's starts. And 4 out of those 8, he's gone 7+. 6 straight quality starts. He's a ground ball machine, and he also doesn't walk guys. Only 11 walks in 51 2/3. He's everything and more that the Yankees have asked for. He's almost a godsend now that Cole is out for the year.
Let's take a look at the leaders brought to you by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. There you see where Max Fried stacks up. It's near the top. How about this? Last Wednesday against the Padres, 1 run over 7 innings. His ERA actually went up. He is leading the majors with that 1.05 earned run average. Well, when we come back, we will hear from Oswaldo Cabrera's Yankees teammates. Nothing but glowing remarks about their fallen mate when we come back here on Yes.
Welcome back to T-Mobile Park for Yankees baseball on Yes. The Yankees will try to pick up their 2nd straight W against the Mariners in Game 2 of the 3-game series. Hey, everyone. I'm Meredith Marakovitz. Today, the Yankees officially placed Oswaldo Cabrera on the IL with a left ankle fracture after that gruesome injury at home plate last night. Cabrera is absolutely beloved in that clubhouse, and one thing was clear after the game: the only thing his teammates were worried about was his well-being.
You watch Cabby play baseball, and you know that he loves this game, and that's how he shows up every day. And then on top of that, he's one of the best human beings in the clubhouse. So it just stings and hurts a lot to see somebody that's so good, one of the best of us, go down with that.
Just a great person and really great spirit, and so it's tough. I think, you know, it definitely leaves a sour taste in your mouth, and obviously it was a great win tonight, but you know, we're feeling for Cabby for sure.
He cares for everybody in this room. You know, he cares. He loves being a Yankee. You know, he wears this jersey with pride. No, this is a tough one, especially a guy that's grinded his whole life and, you know, finally got an opportunity to be our everyday guy and has been excelling at it. And to see something like this, it's tough.
And a bunch of Cabrera's teammates and staff members actually went to the hospital last night to check on him, and they said that it was typical Cabrera. He was in good spirits despite everything that he had been through. He went back to the hotel last night, and today he flew back to New York to meet with team doctors. Unfortunately for Cabrera, he is going to need surgery. Right now, no timeline on exactly how long he'll be out. Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network. When we get back to the Emerald City, it's going to be Justin Shackle and Jeff Nelson with the call of the game.
Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com. By Untuckit. Find the perfect fit today at untuckit.com or more than 80 stores worldwide. And by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. It's the middle game of this three-game series between the Yankees and the Mariners. Yankees trying to go for a quick series win with Max Fried on the mound. Let's take a look at the Yankee lineup tonight. Trent Grisham in the leadoff spot. Aaron Judge batting second. Cody Bellinger will hit third. Goldschmidt cleaning up. Austin Wells does the catching. Then it's Anthony Volpe at short. Dominguez as the DH tonight. Oswald Peraza at third. Jorge Vivas, the second baseman.
And on the hill for the Mariners, Brian Wu making his 8th start. Really good numbers, 44. How about the 8 walks? That's very impressive. Well, let's check out the Nissan pitcher's scouting report on Wu. Give him the heat. Well, that's what he does about 70% of the time. 95 to 97 miles an hour on that fastball. He throws a lot of them. He throws a lot of those pitches, those fastballs up in the zone. That's where he likes to live. And the secondary pitches are very important. That slider, sweeper, and changeup. He's going to have to get those over as well. That last start was one of his worst starts of the year. He gave up 5 runs against the A's, and a lot because of those off-speed pitches.
Let's take a look at the Chevy Mariners defense, brought to you by your Tri-State Chevy dealers. Same outfield alignment from last night. Randy Arozarena, Julio Rodriguez, Leody Taveras from left to right. Williamson, Crawford on the left side, Dylan Moore at second. Donovan Solano gets the start at first. Cal Raleigh doing the catching for the 25-year-old right-hander, Brian Wu. And there you see Trent Grisham. A pair of home runs last night, a 3-hit night overall. It's been sensational. And he will lead it off here against Wu and the Mariners. Yankees are going for their 6th win in the last 7 games. They're a season high 24-17. Wu's ready to go. Time to play at T-Mobile Park. And the first pitch fouled off. We're underway. Mariners come in at 22-18. Still in first place in the AL West, though they've lost 4 in a row. And the big reason is because of the pitching, Nelly. 32 runs allowed over this 4-game skid.
Yeah, one of the reasons, like you mentioned, is the pitching. Hancock, a very young guy, probably got overwhelmed a little bit at 25 years old with the Yankees. Pitched well. All of a sudden, things started snowballing on him. The big 6 runs there in that 5th inning last night knocked him out of the game.
Next pitch skips in the dirt.
They'll get healthy here in a couple weeks. They're going to get George Kirby back, also Logan Gilbert, 2 of their big-time starters. Offensively, they've been a lot better than last year. Now, hitting at home, they don't. They're 28th in baseball in average. On the road, they're 2nd in average.
Wu behind 2-1. And he comes inside. Wu's been an impressive young righty for this Mariners rotation. He's had fantastic command. Doesn't put a whole lot of batters on base. 6 innings in each of his first 7 starts. Good movement on the heater.
Yeah, that's where he likes to live, upstairs. He's got a really good fastball, 95 to about 97 miles an hour.
Got a 2.89 ERA in 22 starts last year. And this is his 4th start against the Yankees. He had 2 scoreless outings prior to September 17th of last season, where the Yankees tagged him for 7 runs. He didn't make it out of the 5th inning. Payoff. Grisham launches it pretty deep to right, but it'll stay in for Taveras. Makes the catch. Grisham retired. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your local Kia dealers.
Well, you like to get him down in the zone. And like I mentioned, Wu lives upstairs with that fastball. Aggressive base running. I imagine there's not going to be very many runs scored when you have 2 really good pitchers in Fried and Wu. Got to make some things happen. And defensively, they're going to have to be sharp. The Yankees are as well, with all the ground balls that are induced by Max Fried.
Here's Judge. And he sends it deep into left center. Rodriguez on the chase near the gap. He reaches and makes the sliding catch, robbing Judge of extra bases here in the first. Well, Julio had a lot of cardio put into last night's game. He gets some early burn here in the first, and he makes the play.
Yeah, he almost made a terrific play on Grisham. It got off his glove, that first home run he hit. This was a breaking ball, and you see how far Rodriguez had to run for this. And he laid out sliding on that warning track. He's a great center fielder, covers a lot of ground. It's a lot bigger park here in T-Mobile than it is in Sacramento.
378 in that left center field gap. So 2 away, nobody on. Cody Bellinger, 2 hits last night. An 8-game hit streak for the Yankees left fielder tonight. See the Judge watching Rodriguez make that catch. Wu appreciating. Bellinger sends it high and deep into left field. Moving back a row. Arena, he turns it. It's off the wall. Quick fire into the infield. And Bellinger will slide in safely with a 2-out double. 9-game hit streak for Cody Bellinger.
Well, the Yankee lineup, they know they're going to get fastballs. Like I mentioned, get them down in the zone. That was a 2-seamer away. And Bellinger just takes it the opposite way off of that left field wall. Good swing. Let it travel a little bit. It's about halfway up.
So a chance for Goldschmidt with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. And again, attacking first pitch with that heater. Goldschmidt with 2 hits last night.
Well, the Yankees, the first few hitters have been very aggressive on the fastball. They get one down in the zone, you might as well, because then he'll start climbing the ladder. Wu will.
Tapped it foul, the sinker at 96. They are hunting for heat here in the first.
I think that one got off of Raleigh's leg. That's what happens when you go down on one knee. It's basically exposing that leg, that thigh. I see a lot of foul balls around the league off those catcher's thighs because of the catching on one knee.
Wu ready. 0-2. Comes upstairs. Let's take a look at the umpire scouting report for the crew chief, Mark Wegner. That's all the way over.
What's
to
new?
The right side, Nelly.
Really, what's new? That's all I've seen.
28th
hitter friendly.
Big league season. A ball and 2 strikes to Goldschmidt. And it's popped up. Out on the grass, the shortstop, J.P. Crawford, puts it away. Yanks get a runner on second. They strand him there. End of a half inning. Yankees nothing. Mariners coming up to hit. No score as we go to the bottom of the first. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Seattle Mariners under manager Dan Wilson. J.P. Crawford back in the leadoff spot. Julio Rodriguez bats second. Cal Raleigh third. Arozarena cleaning up. Mitch Garver is DHing tonight. The second baseman Dylan Moore. Donovan Solano gets the start against the lefty. Leody Tavares. Switch hitting right fielder. And Ben Williamson, the right-hander for the Mariners.
And they are the outstanding numbers from Max Fried. Like we mentioned in the open, the Yankees have won all 8 starts, making his 9th start today. And let's check out the Nissan pitcher scouting report on Fried on the road. He's been outstanding on the road. He's only given up 1 run in 20 1/3. That's a 0.44 ERA. He does so well at adding and subtracting. The fastball 93, 94. He's got that curveball at 75 miles an hour. He's a ground ball machine. Over half the time he gets ground balls.
And the first pitch, he gets J.P. Crawford to bounce it weakly. Goldschmidt flips to a covering Fried. Quickly, 1 away. Let's take a look at the Chevy defense for the Yankees. The outfield alignment tonight: Bellinger in left, Grisham in center, Judge in right. Then it's Goldschmidt at first, Bibas at second, Volpe the shortstop. Peraza gets the start at third base. Austin Wells doing the catching for Max Fried, a 31-year-old 6'4" lefty. Julio Rodriguez homered last night. 3rd homer in his last 10 games. Slowly heating up after a quiet start and a hard chopper to third. Peraza putting it away. Love what Aaron Boone said before the game. We'll get back to that in a moment. Game time weather presented by Bigelow, the official hot tea of the Yankees. It's a bit cooler than last night.
It's cleared up nicely, though. I thought maybe it was going to rain before the game. Roof is open again.
I heard nothing but rain this entire week coming into Seattle, and so far it's been really pleasant.
Yeah, it's not been bad.
Yeah.
It'll start warming up soon.
There's Cal Raleigh. Boone was asked what's stood out to him the most over Fried's first 8 starts, and he answered with 1 word. He said versatility. You never know what you're going to get. He has a number of ways to beat you.
Well, I think the Yankees know what they're going to get. They're going to get a guy that goes deep into the ball game. There's only been 1 start that he hasn't gone, or has gone less than 6. That was his first one. Do you think? I mean, he was in Atlanta his whole career, and I think the Yankee fans, or even the Yankees, knew they were going to get this kind of star of Max Fried.
I think they felt like they knew they were going to get a top quality starting pitcher, but this is an elite, consistent performer in what we've seen so far. Already ahead 0-2 here. And Raleigh hits it in the air to left. Easy work for Bellinger. 3 up, 3 down for Max Fried in the first. We go to the second in Seattle. Let's check out FanDuel's live same-game parlay. Trent Grisham to record 2 or more hits. Anthony Volpe to record 1 hit. And Max Fried to record 6 or more strikeouts. Well, he only needed 5 pitches to get through the Mariners in the bottom of the first. Here's Austin Wells in a 3-run homer in last night's game. Lines it foul. Wells 8 homers, 28 driven in. Homers are tied for 3rd among AL catchers. 28 RBIs, 1st among all catchers in the majors. And more heat from Brian Wu.
Well, that's why the Yankees have been aggressive so far this first time around the lineup. They know they're going to get a fastball to hit. This is when you don't want to help him out when the ball is that high. He'll try to climb the ladder on you. About shoulder high when you're ahead.
Hacked foul.
A lot of times when you have pitchers and they throw that many fastballs like Wu does, and he throws upstairs, you usually get a long stride. He really doesn't have a long stride. So that ball, even though it seems like it's jumping on you, the longer the stride, the more that ball gets on top of the hitter. And he really doesn't have the typical long stride, just basic.
1-2. Hit foul. Wu grew up in the East Bay area near Oakland. In Alameda, he was a Giant fan as a kid. So take a look at that stride.
It does really nice job of getting over that front leg. Just like every pitcher now, they always have that little turn. They'll go one way, the righty, and he'll turn towards first. Lefties will go towards third. You don't get very many pitchers anymore that square up. You know, when they release the ball, they're squared up to the hitter like a fielder.
Another pitch gets a piece of Raleigh. Second in 2 innings.
Got that top of the shin guard and then came back and got him.
One, two. Sweeper just misses outside.
Oh, it's a hitter-friendly umpire. Raleigh setting up inside, had to reach back for that on the outside corner. Probably that's one of the reasons why he didn't get that call.
Got him to go there. Chased the changeup. One away. Let's take a look at the Varzinga hitters scouting report.
Well, he's second in the AL in RBIs as a shortstop. Witt Jr. 25, only one more. The last 6, 333 average, 4 RBIs, 4 walks, 6 runs scored. And it's been a while. Last night was his first home run in about 13 games.
Part of a multi-hit night for Anthony Volpe. OPS up to 777. It was at its lowest on April 23rd, 680. He's had a nice 2 weeks. Take a look at his home run in the 9th inning last night. And that kind of sucked the air out of the ballpark. Mariners made it interesting. A late home run from Cal Raleigh. It was a save situation, and Volpe's homer eventually put the game out of reach.
A big 2-run homer in the 9th inning.
You see Dominguez getting ready to hit. Wu's 1-2. Well, it's in there, called strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Brian Wu, 2 down.
Well, he has such great control. 8 walks on the year and 44 in a third. 96 on the outer half.
Here's Dominguez. Didn't play last night. Ben Rice is the one out of the rotation to start tonight's game. Last 13 games, Jason's hitting .302. Scored 12 runs over that 13-game stretch. Very clear early on what the Yankees' game plan is. Hunt fastballs. In that game last year where the Yankees whacked Wu around, Dominguez hit a home run off of him. Here's the 2-1. It's the strike call.
Well, very smooth with his mechanics. He repeats it nonstop. That's why he's a strike thrower. He can spot that fastball down, then he'll climb the ladder. He's got the changeup. Usually he'll throw that to lefties.
This was a 6th round pick for Seattle in 2021 at a Cal Poly State San Luis Obispo. That was one of the few schools that offered Wu a full scholarship. In a short amount of time, look what he's turned into. Dominguez cracks it into center field. Rodriguez puts it away. Side retired in order by Brian Wu. Bottom of the 2nd coming up. It's time for Pinstripe Pride, brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. And at just 8 years old, Andrew is already a huge Yankees fan, attending spring training games in Tampa every season. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride to mention yes in pictures that you post to social media to reflect your love for the Bronx Bombers. We might spotlight you in a future game. It's a great escape from the winter to go down to Tampa for spring training. Whether you're catching a game or a little bit before the action starts there, just watching players work out.
It's the best time to try to get some autographs as well.
Here's Randy Arozarena coming in with a 34-game on-base streak. Reached 3 times last night. And if Arozarena gets on base here in this game, he will have the Mariners' longest on-base streak since Nelson Cruz had a 37-game streak in 2015. And a broken his bat on that foul ball. Goldschmidt gives it a look.
See what I mean about adding and subtracting? Curveball 77 miles an hour. Fastball 93. He'll mix in the cutter inside. Throw the changeup away. For a hitter, you just can't sit on anything. I mean, you go up there, you might say, oh, I'm going to try to hit a fastball and look for a fastball this time. You may not even see it.
Fried ahead. Is Max Fried the type of guy that other pitchers would be jealous of?
I mean, he has great stuff. You know, I was thinking about who does he remind me of.
Arozarena flies it into right. Judge moving back. Two-hand catch by the captain.
You know, a pitcher that just adds and subtracts and messes with hitters.
Here's Fried's Arsenal presented by StatCast 3D.
So you really can't sit anything. You know, he throws a 4-seamer, yes, more than any other pitch. But he's got the good 2-seamer. The curveball is a lollipop at 75 miles an hour. Mix in the sweeper, the changeup. You know, now, Jamie Moyer didn't have the fastball that Max Fried has. You know, Jamie Moyer threw about 80 miles an hour, 85 miles an hour, and it was slow, and slower. But just how much Fried reminds me a little bit of him, how much he frustrates hitters and just adds and subtracts. It hits the zone, in and out, up and down.
Here's Mitch Garver, and a base hit up the middle for the Mariners DH. Gets a hold of one from Fried. First hit of the night for Seattle. Fried with that deep bag of weapons. Pitcher to pitcher, Meredith. I know you're speaking to some guys in the Yankee clubhouse, part of Fried's staff, and just the overall impressions of what they've seen from their newer teammate.
Well, Justin, you saw multiple times during last night's game Max Fried and Clark Schmidt talking to each other on the bench. And you look at Max Fried, you mentioned the weapons, but he also trusts his stuff and isn't afraid to pitch to contact. That's something that Clark Schmidt said he really picked up on. A lot of times you get enamored with swing and miss, especially when you're young, coming up through the system, trying to make a name for yourself. But he said his entire mindset shifted this year in talking to Max Fried and watching Max Fried, in that you don't need to get a ton of strikeouts. It's all about keeping guys off balance and getting outs. And if you can get deeper into the games, the better off you are and the more you're helping your team. So you see last night right there,
Clark Schmidt and Max Fried. It looks like Max Fried's doing most of the talking there, but talking to each other on the bench. But he said he has helped in shifting his entire mindset. And Jeff, I know a lot of times you have talked with Clark Schmidt about, you know, trying to get deeper into games, and that's something that seems like a goal of his this year. He went 6 against the Padres last night. He worked into the 7th inning, didn't get out of the 7th inning, but overall, as he continued to build up, he's been getting better and better and going deeper into games.
Yeah, you know, with starters, you just stop hunting strikeouts. They will come. I mean, you can get strikeouts when you start setting up hitters, you know, and you can strike guys out 4 or 5 pitches. You want to try to, you know, through an inning, about 12 to 15 per inning, and that gets you deep in the ball game.
There's a roller past the dive of Peraza. Back-to-back base hits for the Mariners as Dylan Moore has his single here against Fried. Garver moves to second.
You know, with Schmidt early in his start yesterday, he was getting ahead. You know, you saw 1-2-0-2, and then all of a sudden he starts nitpicking or have some non-competitive pitches, and you wind up going 2-2, 3-2. And the hitter's right back into the count. Now, once the lead got to be about 5 or 6 runs, you could see him settle down a little bit. Now, he should be able to pitch that way even when the game is tight.
And he mentioned that very scenario where he walked the first 2 batters of that inning, and he said, I think I tried to get a little too fine, tried to be too perfect, trying to get strikeouts, and really just a learning experience as he continues to go on. But that's exactly what he said, Jeff.
Yeah, you know, every pitcher does it. You know, I did it in my career. You know, you get ahead and you feel like, okay, that nasty slider, I just got that swing and miss on. You feel like, oh, I got to throw an even better one. And that's when they're all of a sudden non-competitive. And then you come back and I want to throw an even better one than that. And then you find yourself even in the count or even behind in the count. And when you can really finish them off early, especially with starters, you know, I'd like the idea that Max Fried has the mindset. He's, I'm not hunting strikeouts. You know, I want to give this team 7, 8 innings, maybe some CGs every once in a while.
I know the strikeouts probably come naturally.
Yeah, because you can set it. He does such a great job of setting up his pitches. He'll move it in and out. He's not afraid to bust right-handers in, and then he can go away. You know, with Clark Schmidt, I really love his 2-seam fastball. I wish he would use it a lot more, because then he could set up the outside part to righties or even the inside part to lefties.
Well, Fried in danger here of walking Solano and loading the bases. Pitching from behind in the second, 1 out, runners at first and second. And a hard hopper over to third. Let's see if they turn 2. There's 1. There's 2. 5, 4, 3, double play as Fried gets out of the inning unscathed. MLB is partnering with Crisis Text Line to increase mental health awareness. Free 24/7 confidential support in English and Spanish. Text MLB to 741-741. Start of the third, Oswald Peraza batting against Brian Wu. And a high chopper to Williamson. The rookie puts Peraza away.
I'll give you another one with Max Fried. How about Tom Glavine? Ooh. I was texted that, and I was like, absolutely. I mean, he pitched in the same organization, although Glavine got about a foot on each side of the plate.
Different type of strike zone.
Yes, different type of strike zone, but good comparison.
David Cohn always gives the best comparison on the contrasted strike zones. Take your iPhone, put it out in front of you vertically, and that's today's strike zone. Turn it to the side horizontally, and that's yesteryear's strike zone. Here's Jorby Bibas. Didn't play last night. Again, DJ LeMahieu activated before this game off the injured list, and he's an available player tonight. Likely start tomorrow at second. Quickly 2 away.
And the National League always typically had the bigger strike zones. The American League was a little bit tighter. When we first started Interleague in '97, we would go to some of the National League parks and have National League umpires. And I was blown away at how big the zone was. I was like, wow. I mean, you were getting at least 5-6 inches off of every corner, as long as you were hitting them consistently.
Quickly 2 down. Here's Trent Grisham. Flew out to right to begin the game. Take a look at the exit velocity on these home runs from Trent Grisham, presented by Spectrum. A laser to center, both times up.
There were 6 home runs yesterday hit around the center field area. 4 of them dead central, 2 of them just to the left of dead center.
This one popped up just outside the infield. Crawford puts it away. An easy inning for Brian Wu. Yankees go down in order. Bottom of the 3rd coming up. Yankees Baseball and Yes is brought to you in part by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. By Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. And by Optimum Fiber. Get Optimum, the fastest fiber internet. Don't take slow for an answer. Jay Buhner for Ken Phelps. Max Fried back to work against Leody Taveras. You see the numbers for Taveras between the Rangers and the Mariners. Switch hitter. Shot foul. Another pretty good crowd here for a weekday game in Seattle. They consistently get 25, 30,000 for each game.
Well, you had the Blue Jays in over the weekend. Always a big crowd when the Jays come in. A lot of fans come down from Canada. And then, of course, the Yankees. Yankees draw everywhere.
Stay and see the Yankees after the weekend. Yankees are 8-0 in Max Fried's 8 starts. 2-2. Just upstairs.
Everything nice and simple. Just caught that upper half, but did get the call.
Here's the payoff pitch to Taveras. Got him. Chased the 4-seamer down and in. First strikeout of the night for Max Fried.
Well, that 4-seamer had a little cut on it. Yeah, no chance. It almost looked more of a cutter than a 4-seam fastball.
In the low 90s. So one away for Ben Williamson. If you're Williamson, you're fresh up from the minors, you spent just a couple of weeks here in the big leagues, you're facing someone with the arsenal that we keep talking about with Max Fried. What are you about to be introduced to?
Well, I mean, for a 9-hole hitter, I think you got to look fastball and just hope that you get one. If he's throwing you a bunch of curveballs or off-speed pitches, you tip your hat. There's that breaking ball away. You know, I think that's what you have to try to sit on. I think the whole Mariner lineup's going to have to try to sit on a fastball, and usually will probably get one good one, and then if you're not making contact with that one, you're probably done.
Line down the right field line, but foul.
And there's that one 4-seamer you're probably going to get in this at bat.
Fried using his pitch com on his waist. Williamson had 7 runs batted in over his first 8 games in the big leagues. He's cooled off since. His pitch misses up. They think he can be an excellent defensive third baseman. A very strong arm. Again, hit foul. He says he's really mature, even-keeled. And on the night that the Mariners drafted Williamson, Scott Hunter, who's Seattle's director of amateur scouting, he called Williamson to tell him he was a second-round pick on night 1. And Williamson was almost whispering to him. And Hunter said, well, we just took you in the second round. Are you watching the draft? Williamson said no. Said, are you going to tell anyone? You should probably go tell your parents. He goes, no, they've got work in the morning. These are some extended counts to the bottom third of the Mariner lineup for Max Fried. Two. Eighth pitch coming up. It's been a quality at bat for the rookie third baseman. Take some extra time.
And that's one thing Fried does as well. I mean, he'll milk that pitch clock all the way down. He doesn't panic. You know, he's very calm out on the mound. Nothing seems to bother him.
Williamson staying alive.
Except maybe an 8-pitch at bat. That would probably bother me too.
Here we go again. Tapper to third. Tough play for Peraza on the run. Got him in time at first. Oswald Peraza moving in and over. And after a tough at-bat, 2 away.
Well, this is a great play. There you see he's playing a deep third. And off the end of the bat, it was a breaking ball, and he's got a great arm on the run. And Williamson's not slow down the line. Gets that short hop. Good transfer. Nice throw.
And with Cabrera now down, this is a chance for Peraza to get some run at third base and prove himself with perhaps some consistent playing time. Right now, you'd have to figure he is the best defensive option for third base.
Yeah, there's no question the glove from Peraza and even Vivas. I mean, they're terrific fielders. I would imagine it all depends on who's on the mound, right or left. And if they hit, I mean, can't keep them out of the lineup.
2 away, nobody on. 1-1 to J.P. Crawford, Mariners leadoff hitter. He's having a bounce-back season, though he's 3 for his last 17. Two and 2. Just stayed alive. Hard to believe he's in his 9th big league season. This is year 4 of the 5-year extension that he signed with Seattle, worth $51 million. 2-2 from Fried.
right off the railing of the Yankee dugout.
Well, good pitches right there. A lot of fastballs. After that one take that Crawford had, Max Fried picked up. He's looking off speed. That's 3 straight fastballs. I still say he's looking off speed here.
Got him to go. There it was. Something off the cutter. And a second strikeout for Max Fried. Aaron Judge leads it off to start the top of the 4th. That is an absurd last 162 games for Aaron Judge. 370 average, 65 homers, a 1.277 OPS.
They're video game numbers. That's incredible.
Wu starts him off with a sweeper. If you focus in on this season, he entered tonight with an even .500 on base percentage. 186 plate appearances. He's been on base half that time.
I saw a stat today. He has more games with 3+ hits than he does with games that he hasn't got a hit in. So 7 games that he's had 3 hits, only 6 where he hasn't had a hit.
We've seen a lot of fastballs from Brian Wu, but not in this plate appearance.
No, it's that second, it's the second time around the lineup. Even with Max Fried, they have great averages against the first time. But that second time, it gets close to 300, and then they settle down again. The third time around is under 100.
Comes in there with the heater.
Well, 96 above, and has a little tail inside. Well, the second time around the lineup for Wu, 286 average against. Max Fried, 279 that second time around.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Got him to chase. A rare chase for Judge. 1 down.
That's a great pitch there. You're just seeing fastball. You're looking for fastball. Next thing you know, he throws a slider, that sweeper away.
Here's Cody Bellinger. He has the Yankees' lone hit so far. This is Wu's first start at home since April 12th. He made 4 starts away from T-Mobile Park. He's been an excellent pitcher in this building. 2.27 home ERA since the start of last season. Behind here on Bellinger. Third big league season. Just to give you an idea of how much that rotation has going for it with the Mariners, in the opinion of everybody around baseball. I mean, you stack up all the pitchers when healthy, they figure Wu's near the back of the rotation.
Well, you have Castillo, who the Yankees are going to see tomorrow. Now, he'll mix it up. Doesn't have the fastball that he used to. He's also going with a few more 2-seamers and gotten away from the changeup on occasion. He used to have he still has a really good changeup, but he doesn't throw it nearly as much as he used to.
Strike called. Bellinger thought it might have been ball 4.
Well, just catches that outside corner.
Big target made by Raleigh. Did you like that? Did you need a big target from your catcher?
Well, he's a big boy, too, so he moves around a little bit, and you could see as a pitcher, I mean, I threw some really good catches. Posada, Girardi, Dan Wilson. You know, they always gave you good targets.
Got it. Big target by the big dumper. And Wu gets Bellinger to chase.
Four-seam fastball upstairs, and he's not too happy with himself going after that one. You see it well, and you just can't catch up to it. It has a little ride to it at the end.
It's a 2 away, nobody on for Paul Goldschmidt. Hard liner, right to short. Crawford makes the leaping grab. A 1-2-3 inning for the third time in a row for Brian Wu. Time for the Optimum Don't Take Slow for an Answer replay.
Well, in the first inning, Aaron Judge hits one that left center field gap, and Julio Rodriguez had a long way to run on this one. One of the better center fielders in baseball.
Tall, athletic player as he stands in to start off the bottom of the fourth.
And catching's changed now the way they frame. It used to be a pillow behind the plate. They move back and forth. They just stick that glove out. Now it's all about trying to steal strikes.
Hard liner on one hop, base hit for Rodriguez. So leadoff single against Fried.
Change up down, supposed to be away. Rodriguez goes out and gets it. It's it right in that hole between third base and shortstop. The guy over there, and Rodriguez can steal, and also you have a great pickoff move. Max Fried.
Fried with a 0.99 ERA now. Crowley fouls off the first pitch.
Not only does Max have a really great move over to first, he hangs there with that leg, almost like the Karate Kid with a bird, and he almost entices you to run or get that extra lead, and then he'll go over there.
Fried's 0-1. Here's a look right there. And Meredith, Aaron Boone was asked about Fried's pickoff moves before the game, wasn't he?
And he simply said, excellent. He was then asked again, do you think sometimes it's close to a balk? And he said, absolutely not. I think it is perfect. There is nothing illegal about that move. And he brought up a scenario of he didn't realize how good it really was. There was an instance on August 14th, 2023, when the Yankees were playing the Braves in Atlanta. 2022 in Atlanta, they lost that one 11-3. The Yankees were going through a really tough stretch. Max Fried was on the mound, and Harrison Bader got picked off at first base, and Aaron Boone said he was hot. He should not have been picked off. He kind of talked to Bader for a long time about that and said no way should you get picked off there. It wasn't until Max Fried joined the Yankees.
O'Reilly sends it for a ride deep to center. Grisham turning, and he watches it bounce off the wall. Rodriguez gets the wave around from third. Here comes the relay. The throw home won't be in time. Rodriguez is safe. RBI double for Kyle Rowley, and the Mariners are ahead 1-0. He tattooed that pitch into straightaway center.
Well, it looked like Grisham got turned around on this one. This was a four-seamer right down the middle of the plate. Mislocated fastball was supposed to be in. You watch Grisham gets turned around just a little bit. Probably wouldn't have had it anyway. That's a tough play. Because it bounced off his leg after it hit the wall, they're sending Rodriguez all the way from first.
Eighth double of the season for Raleigh, and here's a Rosarena. Hard liner right to third, stabbed down by Peraza. Oswald Peraza denying a Rosarena of a hit. One away.
That's a really tough play over there by third. Over there, third. This is a curveball, and it's sinking. He had to go down and get it. You watch. He goes down and gets this on a sinking line drive. Excellent play.
Glove saved by Peraza. Here's Mitch Garver. Look back at second.
A lot of times you'll go and do that little spin move. You just don't have a great grip on the baseball, or you just want to reset.
Doesn't get the call. 1-1. Comes inside. That spin move to second got me thinking about your third to first, Deke.
You know, I used to get guys at second base. The thing of it is you do it once, you do it 2 times in a row, because the runners at second base would never think that you're going to do a spin move twice. And I always used to have a signal, whether it was a second baseman or shortstop. And if I did it once and I would do something to take my hat off or do something with my pants and say, hey, I'm coming again, and you would get those guys to break in. And a lot of times you'd get some pickoffs. I couldn't pick anybody off first, but second base was a little bit easier.
Two. And the count full.
Now it's all about timing plays, and you'll see the catcher will give it, or sometimes the shortstop or second baseman will give it to the pitcher, and the catcher will drop their glove. And then basically when you turn your head, pick up the catcher's mitt, he'll drop that, and then you spin and make a throw.
Curveball, another chance for Peraza. Clean throw to first, 2 away. Raleigh stays put at second. Fans, the Gotham Sports app is your new home for streaming live Yankees games and so much more. And it's free with an eligible TV provider subscription. Download the Gotham Sports app now or visit GothamSports.com to get streaming. Runner at second, 2 away. Still and more. Moore's a .333 hitter against lefties this year. 5 of his 7 home runs have been hit off lefties.
They should bring that first to third move back now that they have the pitch clock and the games are flying.
I don't know why they ever outlawed it.
Exactly. Because it took a whole 10 seconds.
Trying to keep the Mariners to just 1 run here in the bottom of the 4th. Raleigh drove in. Rodriguez with a double into center field. He's over at second. 2-0 from Fried. Doesn't get that call.
Wow, that was a good pitch. I think Austin Wells is asking home plate umpire Wegner, where is that? I mean, you got to have that pitch. That was good. Good curveball.
Let's see what Fried does on 3-0. Former Yankee Donovan Solano on deck. Raleigh's at second. And Moore calls time. Moore gained more playing time earlier in the season since the injury to Ryan Bliss. He suffered a torn biceps, and Moore
has played well. Fried loses him. A 2-out walk.
Yeah, this inning, fastball command has gotten away from Max Fried. Blake going to go out and give him a little breather, let him gather his thoughts a little bit. You know, he does such a great job of repeating his delivery. That's why he's such a great strike thrower.
A fast and reliable connection backed by a 100% U.S.-based workforce. So you get the best customer service experience possible. Spectrum.
Matt Blake leaves the mound. If you want to dive deeper into the umpire scouting report with Mark Wagner, because we've seen some close calls there, Wagner is the 6th most hitter-friendly ump out of 90 total.
Well, I think Matt Blake had some questions for him. You take a little time or extra time out on that mound, you wait for the home plate umpire to come out. And you got to say, hey, where are some of those pitches? You got to have those. And I don't care hitter-friendly or not, when you're throwing the ball down the middle of the plate, you got to get the call.
It's Fried against Solano. 1 for 19 with runners in scoring position this season. Gets the strike call there. Solano hit into a double play his first time up. Doesn't get that one.
Well, just on the outer half, and Wells did a nice job of bringing this up. You'll see it catch that bottom corner.
So it's 1-1. Guess the call there. Tougher to get the lower corner calls, but when you're putting it low over the plate, it seems like Wagner's budging there. You don't want to live over the plate, though. Free to strike away from getting out of the inning. And it's tapped at home plate. Well, this is an outing where Max Fried is laboring for sure. The results a bit harder to come by.
Well, we've seen a lot more fastballs. The command of the fastball hasn't been there in this inning. Haven't seen a whole lot of change-ups or the cutters inside.
22nd pitch of the inning coming up. And you see the output for Fried inning by inning. Mariners are making up for that 5-pitch first.
That last pitch at 90 was probably a changeup. That one looked more like a cutter. You know, it's frustrating for a pitcher when you're not getting some calls you're expecting to get. Like you said, you don't want to live out over the middle of the plate. You got to be able to get some corners.
3-2 with 2 outs. And a stare back at second. Raleigh's at second. Moore the runner at first. Fried. Payoff pitch. Runners go. And Solano stays alive. Solano spent 9 games with the Yankees back in 2016. Blinked he would have missed it. And caught a piece of Austin Wells. Solano's putting in a good at-bat against Fried here. 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Runners take off again. Another foul ball.
Pitch clock was all the way down to 1. Had to step off. That's his second disengagement.
We'll do it again at 3-2. Runners are going to take off. And again, another foul ball by Solano. Fried wondering what he has to do to retire the Mariners' number 7 hitter.
A lot of four-seam fastballs in this sequence. This will be the 10th pitch.
Fried ready. Runners will take off again on 3-2 with 2 outs. And another foul ball by Solano. This is Solano's 12th season in the big leagues. Signed a 1-year deal with Seattle in the offseason for $3.5 million. The Mariners are his 7th major league club. Two again, and a roller. That's a foul ball. Just foul. A laborious inning here for Max Fried. Mariners looking for more runs. They scored on Cal Raleigh's RBI double. He's at second. Moore is at first. Here we go again. And it's a fly ball sent into center field. Grisham twisting toward the warning track. Has a beat. Makes the catch. A long at-bat against Donovan Solano results in a flyout. 1 run on 2 hits. 2 left. End of 4. It's 1-0 Seattle. One of the most highly anticipated Subway series in years pulls into the Bronx this weekend, and it all starts on Yes. Special extended pregame coverage begins Friday at 5:30 with first pitch scheduled for shortly after 7 o'clock on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. The Puget Sound here in Seattle.
It'd be West Seattle over there. You go around the corner, it's Alki Beach.
Okay.
Go over there. You can see that. Sometimes you can see some orcas over there. Look back at the city. Great view.
Austin Wells leads it off.
You'd love to have the Yankees extend this inning just a little bit longer and maybe put a rally together just to give Max Fried a little breather in that dugout.
He's thrown 51 pitches over the last 2 innings. Hard chopper. Moore off the line, and the tag applied by Solano. 1 away. See if he's okay.
Well, Moore does a nice job going to his right. just doesn't really pick up the first baseman Solano on the throw. He threw it blindly, and it caused Solano to go into Wells.
Solano being looked at by the Mariner training staff. Take a moment to commend both training staffs for the quick response that they had in last night's game with Oswaldo Cabrera going down in the 9th inning. He knew immediately that it was extremely severe. Put a towel over that ankle. Everyone here quickly springing into action. Tim Lentich went to the hospital with Oswaldo Cabrera. You saw Tim basically cradling Cabrera at the home plate area, instructing him not to move, trying to calm him down. Terrific work by both training staffs. Here's Volpe. Wu hasn't allowed a base runner since the first inning. He's retired 11 in a row. Now you figure Logan Gilbert coming back, George Kirby eventually. The talent within that rotation, you know, it's going to be there. It doesn't lie.
Well, you add that Bryce Miller. You have Castillo is going tomorrow. It's a good rotation. They had one of the best rotations in baseball last year. It offensively just couldn't get it done.
I was asking some Mariners people, hey, what we saw the last several weeks, is that for real? Maybe a flash in the pan with the offense? And he said, no, that is real, as Volpe strikes it into center. 2 away. Tonight's injury report brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Oswaldo Cabrera left that game of the 9th inning in an ambulance, suffering that non-contact injury while avoiding the tag at home plate. Suffering a left ankle fracture, flew back to New York today. Surgery imminent. And we send our best wishes to Oswaldo. A gruesome scene here in Seattle last night. The Mariners people believe it's for real because of the guys in the dugout. Dan Wilson, Edgar Martinez.
Offensively, they're a lot better team than last year. This is where they have to be better offensively. They talked about in the beginning, 28th in baseball in home average and 2nd in baseball when they're on the road.
1-1 to Dominguez. He said when those two came in after the previous staff was let go at 64 and 64 last season, you started to see changes offensively, and it carried over into spring training. And that's the reason to believe, even though it's the same group of players who maybe didn't live up to offensive expectations in years past, it's a reason to believe here.
Well, when you have one of the better or best right-handed hitting DHs in the game, the Hall of Famer Edgar Martinez.
Bouncer foul.
You better listen to him.
Dominguez flew out to center field back in the 2nd. Doesn't chase. It's been a productive month of May for Jason Dominguez, hitting above 300.
And that 3 home run performance in Sacramento on Friday night. Swings and misses. Another inning in which Wu has retired the side in order. 13 in a row for Wu. Tomorrow, host Gracie Cashman sits down with Anthony Volpe for an entertaining look at the numbers that have defined his career. Watch the season premiere of The Story of My Number, presented by the New York Lottery. Tomorrow, following Yankees coverage on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. And you see the sunset over Seattle here as we move to the bottom of the 5th. Mariners ahead 1-0. Leody Taveras, the hitter, against Max Fried, who has certainly labored in the middle portions of this game.
Yeah, it looked like he's just drifting a little bit to the plate. Usually he has really good mechanics and stays back over the rubber. The fastballs are up. The command's not there. We haven't really seen that big loopy curveball. Maybe he just doesn't have a good feel for that pitch.
29 pitches last inning for Max, 22 in the 3rd. He struck out Taveras back in the 3rd. The Mariners are not at full strength offensively. They're missing Victor Robles. They're missing Luke Raley as well. A couple of outfielders. And that's a reason why they went out and claimed Leody Taveras from the Rangers over a week ago. Robles was expected to be a big part of the offense for Seattle. He injured his shoulder on a really nice catch back on April 6th when he leaped into the netting in the right field corner to make a catch. And he suffered a dislocation and a fracture. Doesn't look like he'll be back until at least July. Another full count for Max Fried here. Payoff to Taveras. This is low. He walks him.
You know, just watching Max out on the mound, he's going to his mouth a lot, blowing on his hands, maybe just not getting a good feel for the baseball. We haven't seen the big looping curveball. That was 90 miles an hour. That was probably a changeup. They said it was a 4-seamer, but that was probably a changeup. Maybe the grip on some of his pitches aren't there.
Williamson, the hitter, 0 for 1. He had a long at bat against Fried. It's the first time up. Taveras has 6 stolen bases.
Now, just like Julio Rodriguez when he was over at first, both of them are taking steps back to first. As soon as Max Fried lifts that leg, they know he's got a great pickoff move.
One. There's that sweeper. It's the game of cat and mouse. The runner at first and a lefty pitcher. Goldschmidt holding him on. Pitch.
And for a first baseman, you really got to hold your position as well, because you don't know when a left-hander is going to come over there, especially a guy with a really good move.
Got him to chase.
He upstairs, and Fried strikes out Williamson. 1 away.
No, that was a nice job of changing the eye level. Some pitches, some off-speed pitches down in the zone. And then he goes and throws a four-seamer upstairs. You just can't hold up.
Back to the top of the lineup with J.P. Crawford. Peraza on the edge of the infield grass at third. Oh for 2 so far for Crawford. Former first-round pick by the Phillies in 2013. Crawford hitless in 5 at-bats against Fried in his career. Here's a strike on the edge.
Oh, there was that big curveball there, and that was supposed to be away, so you can see that he's really not getting a great feel of that pitch when you're throwing it on the inside corner there.
Fried ahead on Crawford. Got him going. Sinker down, and Crawford swings over. Strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Max Fried. 2 away.
A good two-seam fastball there down. I think the second at-bat that Crawford's been looking for something off-speed. Got the big breaker away where Fried got him in the third, and that was a good two-seam fastball in.
So Fried will try and get the final out here in the 5th. Julio Rodriguez will hit with that runner on first. It's 1-0 Mariners. Seattle's trying to snap a 4-game skid here. Fried is tap danced in and out of trouble all evening. And there's a throw to first. You know you're doing really well when we're talking about him struggling with maybe his location, the feel for his pitches, and still you look up. There's only one around.
And one of the big keys with his pickoff move is it a balk? Probably. You know, there's a lot of lefties that'll stretch that 45-degree angle. But when you do, you have to make sure you walk towards first base. You have to walk it out. If you just pick up the leg and you're right on that 45-degree angle and you don't walk it out, it's an easy balk call for an umpire. But once you go and throw, you step towards first base, and an umpire really can't tell.
A bouncer foul. And Fried ahead 0-2 on Rodriguez. Julio Rodriguez singled and scored the game's lone run so far. A Cal Raleigh RBI double. No balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs and a runner on first. The pitch just outside. Fried set. Got him going. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Max Fried strikes out 3 straight. We go to the 6th. 1-0 Mariners.
Chris Sheeran back here with this Audi update. Red Sox Tigers bottom 11. Tigers chasing 2 on for Javi Baez, and he delivers a walk-off 3-run homer to left field to lead the Tigers to victory, his 5th of the year, 2nd homer of the day. Detroit wins it 10-9. Shaq, Nelly, Meredith, back to you.
Well, thank you, Chris. Let's go around the majors. Old friend Gleyber Torres excelling here this season for the first place Detroit Tigers, .299 average through 30 games. Paul Skeens announcing that he's joining Team USA for the World Baseball Classic. Oswald Peraza, deep charge into center. Rodriguez with some room. And there's one away. How about that announcement? First, a couple of weeks ago, Aaron Judge being named team captain by USA manager Mark DeRosa. And today, Paul Skeens probably going to be lined up right at the top of the rotation for the U.S.
Well, when you watch the excitement of the finals with the U.S. against Japan, you know, everybody should jump on board.
And now when you see the superstar names starting to be added too,
Right.
it gets even more jacked up. You see Fernando Cruz warming up.
I think Max Fried's done 91 pitches on the night. And then that last one, Sasaki, the Dodgers rotation takes another hit.
A shoulder impingement for Sasaki. Yet you look up and they're in first place. Yankees will be in Dodger Stadium on their next West Coast road trip coming up later this month, starting May 30th. Brian Wu has been in a terrific groove here tonight. He's only allowed one hit. It came with 2 outs in the first. Since then, he's retired 14 straight. Two to Bibas.
He's nice and smooth out on that mound, and that fastball. He's got really good late life. A little ride at the top of the zone.
Stays alive. First pitch strikes. 12 of the 18 batters he's faced. Only 3 3-ball counts for Brian Wu tonight. Four.
Right on cue.
Hey, if that's all that needs to happen, let's get talking here.
All right, there's only been one base runner from the Yankees. That was in the first inning.
John Sterling would say, if when it came to maybe broadcast jinxes with no hitters and stuff, he would say, if I can control that game, I'm not paid enough. Gets Bibas. 2 away. Now the Audi electric moment. Experience a fully electric Audi vehicle at your local tri-state Audi dealer today. All Brian Wu.
He's done an excellent job. He repeats his mechanics very consistently. Fastball upstairs. The Yankees know it's coming. It's got a good late life. And it just jumps on you at the top of the zone. A little ride as well. That's his 6th strikeout. He has not walked the Yankee yet.
Grisham pops it in the air. Coming in is Taveras. He slides. He can't make the catch. Clunks off his glove. And Grisham will be aboard at first. First base runner for the Yankees since inning number 1. And a chance for Judge. That'll be a base hit.
Well, it looked like a play that Taveras usually makes. He takes a couple steps back, so he gets a bad jump, and it just hits off the heel of his glove.
So Taveras could not make the play. Grisham on it first, and Aaron Judge. He's ready to go, but Cal Raleigh isn't even behind home plate. He's walking back from the pitcher's mound. I think that's just part of the intimidation factor if you're a pitcher facing Aaron Judge.
Well, Wu's got him with 2 breaking pitches, and one that Rodriguez made a great catch in the left center field gap, and then he got him with a sweeper his last at bat.
Starts him off with that sweeper. Just clipped foul. Will quickly ahead 0-2.
Now, if you're Aaron Judge, you're probably thinking that he's going to go with that sweeper away. Try to expand the zone on him.
No balls, 2 strikes. Grisham on it first with 2 away. And he comes upstairs to Judge. Mariners lead it 1-0. Brian Wu trying to pitch at least 6 innings in 8 straight starts to begin the season. 1-2. Judge not budging there. Cracks it into right field. Taveras coming on. He slides. Can't make the catch. He traps it. Grisham moves up to second. Back-to-back singles with 2 outs for the Yankees. And they're starting to sting the ball against Brian Wu.
That was almost a huge mistake by Taveras in right field. Well, he starts him out with a sweeper, gets strike 1, and he tries to climb a ladder, almost leaves a fastball out over the middle of the plate. This was an 0-2 pitch upstairs. He tries to expand the zone. And then another fastball. You see the ride inside. It jammed Judge. That was a good play by Taveras. If that gets to the wall, it's a tie game.
Here's Bellinger. He had the lone hit for the Yankees before the 6th inning. And the first pitch way outside. Grisham on it second. Judge is on it first. Bellinger now with a 9-game hit streak. Wu misses up. Bellinger came into tonight having never faced Brian Wu. When he pops him up, Arozarena. Side retired. Yankees get a pair of hits with 2 outs, but they strand both. 1-0 Seattle. This bullpen budget brought to you by Citizens. Make sense of your money with Citizens. Fernando Cruz about to work back-to-back games. We see from last night, Devin Williams threw 4 pitches. Luke Weaver warmed up but did not get in the game. We haven't seen him on the mound in the game since last Wednesday, but it'll be a chance for Cruz.
And Cruz last pitch in that middle game in Sacramento. There's a line there. 3 earned runs. He gave up the home run to Langoliers in the 7th. Some splits up in the zone.
Facing Cal Raleigh in the bottom of the 6th. Aaron Boone said that Cruz got PCL'd on Saturday in Sacramento. Those fly balls, they will sneak on up and get out of there.
got a decent fastball, 93, 94, and he can throw that split for a strike, and then he throws it down in the zone. When you get ahead, that's when you want to really get on top of that split, and almost you aim for the top of the plate. Just like that. That's a really good split finger.
See Cruz working back-to-back outings, lighter rather, according to that bullpen budget chart. Raleigh doubled in, the lone run of the game. So Max Fried gives up 1 run in 5 innings of work. His off night is most pitchers' on night.
Yeah, he ended a streak of 6, 7 quality starts. Last time he went shorter than 6 was his second start of the season. He went 5 2/3. That's a good example there. You throw one really good split and you get a swing and miss, and Raleigh really looked poor on it, and then you think you got to throw it even better those next couple, and that's when you start bouncing them.
Tap foul.
That was a good split there. The couple before, you're thinking, okay, I got to really bounce this one, and it winds up going way out of the zone, or it winds up being a 59-footer.
We talked about Fried perhaps having some type of trouble maybe gripping the pitches. He's seen Fernando Cruz keep rubbing up the baseball as he gets Raleigh to swing over the splitter for out number 1. The 6th Yankee strikeout brought to you by Audi and the 2025 Audi Q6. Visit your local Tri-State Audi dealer today. Raleigh not too pleased with himself. One away. Here's Randy Arozarena. 0 for 2. High chopper. A foul ball.
Well, sometimes with the split, you don't mind the baseball being slick. You want that to slip out of those fingers. Get that good knuckling action.
Arozarena lined out to Peraza at 3rd in the 4th. It was a good play made by Peraza. At the time, it followed the run-scoring double hit by Raleigh. Hard liner. It's a good split right there.
Yeah, split at 80, fastball at 93. You see he goes and gets that grip right away. You don't want to dig into your glove and have to get that split. You can change in the glove from split to fastball.
1-2. Got him to go. Another splitter for strike 3. Let's check out the T-Mobile coverage cam on Oswald Peraza.
He's an excellent defender. He's got a really strong arm. There's that sinking line drive. It's a tough play right there.
He plays back for Mitch Garver. See 2 pitchers warming up for the Mariners. Gabe Spire, the lone lefty. Carlos Vargas going as well. Cruz is looking sharp here. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Garver getting the start. Spent a long time in Minnesota with the Twins. Won a World Series title with the Rangers. And since signing with Seattle, he has not hit the way he did prior in his career. 2-2. He's hit just 176 since the beginning of last season here with the Mariners. Three balls and 2 strikes. Cruz gets him. Strike 3 called. Fernando Cruz strikes out the side here in the 6th. We go to the 7th. 1-0 Mariners. All right, Nelly, it's time for Name That Yankee. It's brought to you by Prevagen, made for your brain. A career that spanned from 84 to 93. Ended with the expansion Marlins in 1993. Played for both teams that are on the field right now.
Teammate of mine in 92 and 93.
I have one guess. There's only one former Yankee I know that was on that expansion Marlins roster. Brian Wu going back to work here to start the 7th. It's a 1-0 Mariner lead. Paul Goldschmidt. A fly out and a line out tonight. And he gets Goldschmidt to pop it up. Rodriguez jogging in. And there's one away. So you have it. You knew it.
Yeah, we played together in 92, 93, and then also in winter ball.
Where at?
Puerto Rico.
Oh. Here's Austin Wells. Wells had a big 3-run homer in a 6-run 5th inning last night. Yankee offense had been on a roll entering this evening. Bounced foul. It was their 9th game scoring 10 or more runs last night. They've had some big innings lately. So far, though, silenced by Brian Wu.
Yeah, Wu, this is his 8th start. I think you might have said this earlier. All 8 starts, he's gone 6+.
He's the only pitcher in baseball to go at least 6 innings in all of his starts. Let's take a look at the Old Spice Fresh stats. 0 runs for the Yankees tonight. Rolled sharply. That's a fair ball down the right field line. Austin Wells digging for 2. Tavares digs it out of the corner. 1 out double. Austin Wells. Let's see if the Yankees can get something cooking here in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, you wonder if this is going to be it for Wu. This is a changeup. It was supposed to be away. It was down and in. Nice job of staying with it. And then poking it down that right field corner. Looks like Dan Wilson's going to go out and get Brian Wu.
So Wilson will visit the mound. And he takes the ball from his young right-hander. Brian Wu was terrific in 6 1/3. Austin Wells delivers the knockout blow. What will the Yankees be able to do against the Seattle bullpen? Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary
at Bet365 and by Hyundai. Test drive a new Hyundai today, only at your local Hyundai dealer. Ryan Wu out. Left-hander Gabe Spire in this game for Seattle. You see the numbers for Spire. 19 strikeouts and 15 innings of work. Opponent's hit just 200. He'll face a righty here with Volpe. A likely turnaround Dominguez to bat from the right side. He's on deck. Then it's Oswald Peraza. Wells is the tying run at second.
Spire fastball slider, guys. Fastball mid-90s, 94 to 96.
Volpe 0 for 2 so far. And the Yankees cracked the door open against this bullpen for the Mariners. Three and 0. See Dominguez in the on-deck circle. Practicing from that right side. 3-1. Fouled back. This will be a tough task for this Mariner pen. Trying to protect a slim lead against the league's leading offense.
Well, the Mariner bullpen 13th in baseball, 3.68 ERA.
Wells on at second. Pitch. High fly. Down the left field line. Arozarena. Does he have room? No. This is pretty much the reason why they brought in the lefty, Jeff. 119 average in 42 at-bats against lefty pitchers.
Yeah, he hit that one home run in Sacramento. His first home run as a right-handed hitter, Dominguez.
5 for 42 overall. The homer and 4 doubles. So the 5 hits have been pretty big. And now we'll have a chance to bat with 2 on. Big spot in this game for Jason Dominguez and the Yankees.
They're going to go out and talk to Spire. I don't know what they're saying to him. I mean, try to pitch around the right-hander, and Volpe, once you got behind him, he tried to throw a 3-2 slider. That was the 7th pitch in that at-bat. Just saw the line for Dominguez, 119 off of lefties.
Aaron Boone has said he thinks in time, with more reps, Dominguez is going to be a very good right-handed hitter. And what has stood out the most is the fact that the hits that he's had lately, they've been impactful from the right side. Well, here's a chance for the Martian. Volpe over at first. Wells is at second, 1 out.
Well, Dominguez is probably going to get a first pitch slider.
Spire's first pitch.
Got dead red instead.
Dominguez DHing tonight, with Bellinger over and left. Runners go. Pitches upstairs. There'll be no throw. Double steal for the Yankees. Being aggressive, putting the heat on. And Wells will be at third. Volpe at second.
Wells had a huge jump. Watch him bounce off a second. Spire paid no attention whatsoever to Austin Wells. A nice job by Volpe picking that up.
Pitch is inside to Dominguez. 2-1. Infield comes in for Seattle. Trying to cut off a play at the plate. Pitch. Foul to the net. Let's take a look back to Friday night. A 3-home run performance for El Marciano. 2 from the left side, 1 from the right. 2-2. Got it to go. Strike 3. 2 away.
Well, slider down and in. And Dominguez couldn't hold up.
Well, a big out there for Gabe Spire. It'll be up to Oswald Peraza. Peraza 0 for 2 tonight. Flew out to center in the 6th. He grounded out to third in inning number 3. Wells at third. Volpe at second base. Just a 1-run lead for Seattle. All right, gets the outside corner.
Well, he backdoored that slider. We're getting that early in the game.
Spire ahead, 0-2. Pitch to Peraza. Got him. Spire strikes Peraza out. And the Yankees strand 2 in scoring position. Time to get up and stretch here in the Pacific Northwest. It is 1-0 Seattle.
Chris and Jack back here with this Ford update. And Jack, in the pregame show, we talked about these 2 pitchers, runs being at a premium, and that's come to fruition.
Yeah, Max Fried really had to work through 5 innings, Chris. 91 pitches. The Mariners fouled off 23 of those, so they made him work. He still was able to hold them to 1 run on a night where he had to grind. Wu has been terrific, or was terrific for the Mariners. Retired 15 in a row at one point. That 7th inning, that was the Yankees' best chance. They didn't produce.
Jack and I will break it all down in the postgame, but for now, we send it back to Seattle to Shaq and Nelly.
Chris, Jack, thank you so much. There's a look at the game summary. 1 run produced off the bat of Cal Raleigh, an RBI double against Max Fried of the 4th. Fried, 5 innings pitched, 1 run allowed. Brian Wu, meanwhile, pitching into the 7th inning. A scoreless outing for him, 6 strikeouts. Yankees have had chances over the last 2 innings. But that man right there, Gabe Spire, inheriting some runners for Brian Wu, and able to strike out Oswald Peraza. So here's Mark Leiter Jr. working back-to-back nights. Faces Dylan Moore. Leiter entered the 7th last night with a runner on second and nobody out, allowing a run to score that was put on by Clark Schmidt. Getting a lot of ground balls and some high strikeout numbers.
Well, good split, good curveball.
Oh, 2. Jorge Polanco is in the on-deck circle for Seattle. Polanco having a solid season. The Mariners, more often than not, preferring to hold Polanco back against lefties. Now that the righty's in, looks like he's going to get a plate appearance.
He had some knee injuries and then also an oblique that kept him from hitting from the right side.
Leiter was ahead 0-2. Now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two. Got him. Splitter for strike 3. Leiter strikes out his first batter.
Well, good split. After overthrowing a couple pitches, he settles down a little bit and gets on top of that split finger. There's that good action down, that knuckling action that you get from a split.
Polanco's production has made him a fan favorite here in 2025. Bats in the 7th spot for Donovan Solano. Switch hitting veteran. 31 years of age in his 12th big league season. He ended up being a steal for Seattle in the offseason. They re-signed him to a 1-year deal for just under $8 million after declining his $12 million option earlier in the offseason. And if he continues this pace, it's going to look pretty much like a bargain. There's a mutual option for next season as well. Infield shifted to the right. On the left side. And again, 2-2 after an 0-2 start for Leiter.
Well, just overthrowing a couple splits. He spiked those in front of home. A little quick out on the mound. He stayed back. Threw a nice one to Moore. And he got the strikeout on.
He'll do it at 2-2. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Another splitter. 2 down here in the 7th.
Well, it's got good diving action when you stay back over the rubber. There you see that knuckling action. And that split down and away. When you get too quick, rush that throw, your arm doesn't get time to get up in that throwing slot, and you wind up spiking those splits.
Here's Taveras. Another first pitch strike for Leiter. Ahead 0-2 on his 3rd straight hitter.
Well, that's 8 straight strikeouts by Yankee pitching.
And Fried got 3 in the 5th. Cruz with 3 in the 6th. And on 0-2. Overall, it's been a good night of pitching on both sides. Leiter ready. 1-2. Lifted. Left side. That's Volpe. Check that. Peraza makes the catch. And a 1-2-3 inning for Mark Leiter Jr. This year marks Yogi Berra's 100th birthday, and the Yankees have a special giveaway to help commemorate it. On Friday, June 6th, the first 18,000 guests will receive a special Yogi Berra U.S. Navy bobblehead that recognizes his military service, courtesy of State Farm. Tickets are going fast, so get your tickets today at Yankees.com. dangerous right-hander Matt Brash on to pitch the 8th. And a young hitter who has been just as dangerous from the left side, Ben Rice, pinch hitting here.
Brash making his 3rd appearance of the year, actually 4th appearance, excuse me. Fastball, mid-90s, curveball, slider.
He has absolutely nasty stuff if he knows where it's going.
Yeah, he does. He's got a good moving fastball. He throws a lot of 2-seamers. Good off speed.
There's a strike. Dylan Moore has moved from second to first. Leo Rivas is now playing second for Seattle. Fooled rights there.
There's that knuckle curve. You see that first finger come up on the ball. That middle finger goes along a seam or just on the edge of the seam.
Swing and a miss. Brash gets right. 1 away.
So you got the knuckle curve. It's more of a 2 to, I'd say, 8 break, and then you got that little slider down in the zone. More across with a little breakdown.
So Rice retired. Trent Grisham at the plate. Singled back in the 6th off Wu. A very tough back of the bullpen for the Mariners with Matt Brash and then Andres Munoz, their closer. Yankees down by just 1. They're going for their 6th win in the last 7 games. With Brash in control here, ahead 1-2 on Grisham. Grisham stays back. Again, full count. Judge on deck.
Oh, good take there. A couple of nasty sliders down and in.
Let's see what he does on 3-2. Grisham stays alive. Line drive, left field, base hit, Trent Grisham. Tying run is on here in the 8th, and Judge will hit with 1 out.
Well, real good at bat. You knew that once you got to a 3-2 count, you probably weren't going to see off speed. He didn't want to walk you. Laid off some good sliders, and then you get a fastball up top, just goes the other way with it.
Trent Grisham, the last 2 nights, doing a really nice job at managing pitches on the outside. Hit 2 homers to center yesterday. Here's Judge. And he went around according to Bruce Dreckman. Judge 10 for 20 on this West Coast trip.
That's a nasty slider, and it's 87 miles an hour. He throws that pretty hard. Fastball in the mid-90s. Slider high 80s.
Judge 1 for 3. Singled his last time up. Trying to make a difference in this game, at least tie it up with the tying run at first in Grisham. No balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. And he gets him. Slider for strike 3. Judge down swinging.
A good late break on that slider. You watch this late break expanding the zone.
Here's Bellinger. Devin Williams, Luke Weaver, both warming up for the Yankees. And the pitch, ripped foul. Brash ahead 0-2. Seattle is 14-0 this season when leading after 6. 15-0 after the 7th. A ball and 2 strikes to Bellinger rather. Grisham on at first. Drive, center field, Rodriguez. Side retired. Yankees get a runner. Can't do anything with it. Middle of the 8th, 1-0 Mariners. All right, Nelly, let's find out who it is to name that Yankee. You said it's a teammate of yours.
Yes, we played together in the early years in Seattle. Henry Cotto. We played together in Puerto Rico as well. I don't remember him as a Yankee.
Well, Bill and I would.
He wasn't a bad player. A good outfielder, corner outfielder.
There he is, the old stadium. Hey, put your shirt on. That was not my guess. My guess was Orestes Estrada.
Yeah, I don't think Estrada played for Seattle.
10 Major League seasons for Henry Cotto. So, Meredith, Aaron Boone loves to play name that Yankee every single day. Did he get this one?
He sat there. He looked at it for a while, made his guess. I said, yep, you got it. He looked at me and said, no, really? He was so excited. He's like, I really got it? Yeah, you did.
What number was that? Because that was a tough one.
That was a 7. Luke Weaver on. Trying to keep this a 1-run ball game. Facing Ben Williamson, the Mariners' rookie third baseman. Smacks it into right. Judge moving back, still moving, makes the catch. Judge caught up with it near the warning track, 1 away.
Well, that's a ball off of Williamson's bat. It's going to tail towards the right field line. And there you see Judge. He calls off Grisham.
So 1 out. And there you see DJ LeMahieu activated today off the injury list. He's playing second base. It's his season debut. J.P. Crawford swings and misses through the pitch. LeMahieu likely be starting at second base tomorrow.
Finished his rehab with AAA Scranton. Performed well. Said he accomplished everything he felt like he needed to do. Compared it to a full spring training where he just needed to get a full routine.
He had a homer, hit over 400 in his rehab stints.
And it's likely, again, second base is the spot for LeMahieu whenever he does play. 1-2. Remember, he missed the end of last season with a hip injury. It's been a while. Has to feel really good to be back on the field in this type of setting. Not too many players who compete as hard as DJ LeMahieu. Coming in a one-run game late.
You just got to hope he stays healthy.
Here's Weaver's 2-2. Well, the Yankees will have Goldschmidt, Wells, and Volpe up in the top of the ninth. Weaver trying to keep it to a one-run game. Pitch. Oh, a check swing. He got him to go. Crawford looking foolish by Luke Weaver. 2 away.
Well, real good pitch. Four-seam fastball now to our half. And Crawford wasn't so sure if that was going to be a strike. Couldn't hold up his swing.
So 2 away. Julio Rodriguez will hit. He scored the game's only run. Singled in the 4th off Max Fried. He was driven in by Cal Raleigh, who waits on deck. Mariners trying to snap a 4-game skid. It's fisted in the air. Foul territory. Tough play. Weaver cannot make the play. So much for the pitchers getting out of the way. He goes right into the fray.
No, pitchers are the best athletes, so you got to watch out. It's almost a great catch.
He wanted that. See that reaction? He's upset with himself. I don't get it, Nelly. Why do they make fun of pitchers?
Well, they shouldn't. They're the best athletes. Look at them when they grow up.
The 0-1. Another foul ball. Andres Munoz getting ready to come in the top of the 9th. Oh, 2. Swing and a miss. There's strike 3. Luke Weaver retires the side in order. Yankees pitching has done the job tonight. We'll see if the offense can respond. To the 9th inning we go. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule, brought to you by your local Tri-State Buick dealers over the next 2 weeks. Play another one here to conclude the West Coast trip. Subway Series this coming weekend, an off day Monday. 3-game set with the Rangers, and it's back out west. 3 with the Rockies. The Yankees faced Andres Munoz at the stadium last year. Nasty work from this closer.
Well, he's got a good fastball, upper 90s, 98 to 100, but he throws that slider almost half the time. He's got great numbers so far this year. This is his 19th game and has not given up a run in 18 innings. Look at those strikeouts. 25.
13 for 14 in save chances. First in saves with 13 in the American League. Paul Goldschmidt. He'll lead it off for the Yankees tonight. Hitless in 3 at-bats. A 1-0 game. And he starts him off with a pitch foul back. High strikeouts, high ground ball rate for Munoz. Over 72%. The ground ball rate. Brian Wu pitched into the 7th inning for the Mariners. Gave way to Gabe Spire. Got Seattle out in a tight situation. Stranded 2. Matt Brash allowed a base runner in the 8th, but ultimately got out of it. Here we are. The Yankees still searching for their first run tonight. Two and two. Yankee pitching has retired 15 of the last 17, so they've done a great job. And that went inside. It hit Goldschmidt. Yes, it did. Well, Paul Goldschmidt will represent the tying run after being hit by a pitch, but they'll wait and see if he's okay first. Dan Wilson might challenge this. Nope.
Well, as a fastball just kept running in. Just gets him off that top hand.
Tough to tell in a spot like that when Goldschmidt doesn't show any emotion for being hit by a pitch in that spot. Goldschmidt's on at first, tying run, and Austin Wells doubled back in the 7th. Goldschmidt takes off, pitches a strike, throw, not in time. Goldschmidt steals second base, and the tying run in scoring position.
A lot of time closers do not hold runners on well. They really don't pay attention to them, and you see Munoz paid zero attention to Goldschmidt. Good heads-up base running right there.
So Goldschmidt puts himself into scoring position, and he's going to be lifted for a pinch runner. It's Pablo Reyes. 3rd stolen base of the season for Paul Goldschmidt.
How about that? You can steal a bag, get yourself into scoring position, but you know what? We got to get you out of there. We don't think you can make it around 3rd to score.
So Reyes on at 2nd now. Here's Munoz. 0-2 on Wells.
The Yankees have had traffic in the last 4 innings.
0-2. Just misses below the knees. Let's take a look at the arms in the outfield for the Mariners. They'll likely be aggressive against Arozarena. Little tapper, left side. Williamson. Low throw, but it's there. Over to 3rd goes Reyes. Tying run 90 feet away now. The Mariners will bring their infield in.
If you're Anthony Volpe, you know you're going to get a lot of sliders. He throws it half the time. He's going to try to stay away from you.
Mariner infield huddling up with Munoz, Cal Raleigh. Middle game of this series, very tight here in the 9th. Series finale tomorrow. Coverage beginning at 3 o'clock on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Yankees looking on closely here. Trying to put the ball in play is Anthony Volpe. There you see the infield. 0-1. Tapper. Here comes the runner Reyes. The throw home. It's wide. It goes to the backstop. Reyes scores to tie the game. Volpe heading for second. He'll get in there safely. Oh, you give him some life. They're going to strike. The Yankees tied in the ninth against Munoz.
Well, Dylan Moore, normally a really good fielder. This is a check swing, little Tapper. He had to rush his throw, and he threw it wide. No chance for Raleigh to pick that ball up. There's that check swing. You're going with one out on contact. There, Volpe runs into the first base umpire, Dreckman, but he makes it into second.
Volpe's on at second. It's a fielder's choice, an error by the first baseman. And here's Jason Dominguez. 1-1 game. One and one. So the Yankees tie this game up against Andres Munoz without recording a hit. Now they have speed on at second. Volpe representing the go-ahead run. Next pitch. Hit foul. Peraza on deck. Munoz gets the call. Low fastball against Dominguez. There's strike three.
Wagner behind the plate has been really inconsistent.
And Aaron Boone's been ejected. The night's frustrations probably built up on both sides.
Well, I can understand Aaron Boone being frustrated with that call. That was down. Wagner's missed a lot of calls tonight.
Boone emptying out the bag. Dominguez called out on strikes, 2 away here in the ninth. Let's take another look.
You can see it's down out of the zone. And below the knees. Even Raleigh, I think, thought it was a ball.
Dominguez is as reserved as they come, too. Here's Peraza. See Wagner getting an earful. Oh, 1. Peraza hitless in 3 at-bats tonight. He's made some nice plays defensively
Figures to be getting some run here with Oswaldo Cabrera now sidelined.
And you love to see him shorten up his swing here with 2 strikes. Just put the ball in play.
Just tapped foul. Volpe dancing off second. 0-2. Peraza stays alive. Can Peraza come through here? 2 outs, 2 strikes on him. Runner at second. Now the 1-2. Munoz misses. 2-2 the count.
21 pitches in this inning for Munoz. He leaves a slider up here for Peraza to handle.
Now the 2-2. Way upstairs. Well, 3-2 here to Oswald Peraza. Well, look, Munoz has done it to himself. He hit Paul Goldschmidt, who led off. And there you see DJ LeMahieu waiting on deck. 3-2. Swing and a foul ball again. Here's the go-ahead run for the Yankees. Volpe at second. 2 outs, top of the 9th, 1-1 game. Payoff pitch. Swung on hard, grounded to third. Williamson gets the out. The Yankees tie it up against Munoz here in the 9th inning. We will go to the bottom of the 9th in Seattle. Anthony Volpe, Paul Goldschmidt giving the Yankees some life to tie it up against Munoz in the top of the 9th. And Luke Weaver going back out to face the heart of this Mariner lineup in the bottom of the 9th inning. Cal Raleigh will lead it off against Weaver, who retired the side in order in the 8th. Yankees are going for a 3rd straight series win. And another victory here would ensure themselves of a winning road trip. Thank you for staying up late with us here tonight in Seattle. Along with Jeff Nelson and Meredith Marakovitz, I'm Justin Shackle. Weaver's first pitch. It's tapped softly. And Bellinger takes it no problem. Goldschmidt out of this game. Bellinger now moving from left field to first. And Pablo Reyes remains in the game as the left fielder. Here's Arozarena. He's been held off the base paths here tonight. This is the first appearance for Cody Bellinger at first base this year. Brad Ausmus taking over for Aaron Boone after he was ejected. Oh, and 2 on Arozarena.
A good fastball. Weaver well rested. Had 5 days off before tonight.
Hadn't worked since the series finale against San Diego. Missed low. But Jeff, that was the first earned run allowed by Andres Munoz this season.
Perfect time.
One, two. Hit foul to the net. So Weaver ahead 1-2. Rosarena's 34-game on base streak might be in jeopardy here. Now the 1-2 pitch. Got him. Four-seamer upstairs, and Weaver fans a Rosarena 2 away.
He did a really nice job of staying away with the fastball. And he climbs the ladder.
That's 5 straight retired by Weaver. $14 straight retired overall. Garver. Volpe. An easy 1-2-3 bottom of the 9th for Luke Weaver and the Yankees. DJ LeMahieu will make his first plate appearance of the season when we come back to start the 10th. DJ LeMahieu getting some practice swings in, but he's going to be doing it for real in a matter of moments. You see DJ's career with the Yankees when they first signed him to his first contract. He was an MVP caliber player. An outrageous hitting ability, 922 OPS. But he's battled some injuries in recent seasons. Missed the first 41 games here after getting hurt in his first game in spring training. And he'll face Carlos Vargas, the right-hander.
Well, he's going to see a fastball 96 to 98. He's got a cutter, a slider, and a changeup. Changeup not often.
Oswald Peraza, the ghost runner to begin the top of the 10th. Here you see what DJ did last season. Again, it was cut short with a hip injury that kept him out after September 3rd. LeMahieu rehab with AAA Scranton. Arrived here in Seattle yesterday. Saw what happened to Oswaldo Cabrera, the 0-2 or the 0-1. Called it part of the dark side of the game. Really unfortunate. You figure he will be factoring in at second and third base here. Trent Grisham on deck. 1-1.
Well, now with 2 strikes, you're just looking to hit something to the right side of the infield. Get Peraza over to third.
Can LeMahieu put the ball in play? Swings and misses on the slider. 1 away.
Well, there you see that front hip open up. Once that front hip opens up, you're going to have a hard time covering the outside half.
Well, here's Grisham. Peraza, the runner at second. Well, he said he went around. Trent Grisham's the only batter with a multi-hit game tonight for both teams. Yankees tied it in the top of the 9th inning. They'll try and take the lead here in the top of the 10th. They're 1-2 in extra inning games this season. Seattle's 2-3. No balls and 2 strikes. Now the 1-2. Skips in the dirt. Rowley keeps it in front of him.
Well, that's a good pick. It's a slider in the dirt. Once that slider, that spin hits the dirt, it's going to shoot the other way. Keeps it in front of him.
Rowley's been one of the best defensively behind the plate. 2-2. Peraza gaining some attention from Vargas. Grisham gets out of the way. It's now 3-2. Judge waits on deck.
Well, you would think that Grisham would get a good fastball to hit. You're not going to want to walk Grisham to get to Judge.
The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3.
He went with that slider. It's a gutsy pitch right there from Vargas. I'd be shocked if they pitched to Judge here.
And they are not. Quickly, Judge takes off the shin guard. Four fingers right there, Nelly. Easy pass.
Yeah, that was a gutsy pitch to Grisham. 3-2 slider. I'd be thinking fastball as well, not thinking you're going to try to walk him with Judge on deck.
Cody Bellinger doubled all the way back in the first. Go ahead run at second. Judge at first. Bellinger is heated up lately. 1-0. Devin Williams warming up. We'll go on in the bottom of the 10th inning. Yankees received 2 scoreless innings from Luke Weaver. Vargas trying to work quickly here. And Bellinger calls time.
Wow, that was a good pitch. That fastball right down the middle, 2-0.
Can Bellinger come through? He sends it high in the air to right field. Taveras puts it away. Yankees are done here in the top of the 10th. Devin Williams, 4 pitches thrown last night. He returns to the mound this evening in extras. Will pitch the bottom of the 10th in a 1-1 game. And there you see 0 runs allowed in 5 of his last 6 appearances, Nelly.
Well, you hope that last appearance, well, the one in New York against San Diego when he got out of his own jam. You know, that could really fire you up. He faced 1 hitter, actually 2 hitters yesterday. I thought maybe they might have left him in for the save. He had a save situation when the Yankees opened it up in that top of the 9th.
Miles Mastrobuoni, a left-hander for the Mariners, will hit here in the bottom of the 10th. You see what he's been able to do in 31 games. Runner at second is Mitch Garver. 1-1 game, bottom of the 10th.
Now you wonder if the Mariners are going to sacrifice here.
Corner infielders drawn in. Shows bunt. It's a foul.
We got Bellinger. He's crashing hard. Mastrobuoni's going to try to bunt it to third to get Peraza to field it. If you're Devin Williams, you're going to try to crash in, and also you have the line, the third baseline.
Here's the 0-1. Shows bunt again. Just to the right. Wells picks it up. LeMahieu's at first. They get the out there. Over to third goes Garver. Sack bunt executed by Mastrobuoni.
Well, he tried to go to third, but it worked. It laid up in that dirt. The only play for Wells was the first. There's that changeup.
So the winning run, Mitch Garver at third, and Rowdy Tellez will come off the bench for Seattle and pitch in. Tellez, the veteran lefty. Brad Ausmus coming out to the mound. Remember, Aaron Boone ejected Ausmus, the acting manager here.
Mitch Garver is at third. He doesn't run well. A lot of times with one out, they're going to go on contact.
And nobody else to run there. Bench is empty.
Right.
So Garver on at third, 90 feet away. And it's Tellez, 30 years of age, his 8th big league season. But it's his first year here with the Mariners. Started at first base yesterday. Solano got the start against the lefty Fried.
Well, these guys were teammates in Milwaukee.
Tellez, the former Brewer, where he hit 35 homers for Milwaukee. First pitch. Since then, he's hit a combined 32. Those 35 homers occurred in the 2022 season. Infield drawn in. No balls and a strike. And Williams ahead 0-2.
A good changeup. Outfield for the Yankees are also in.
Remember, Reyes is in left field. Grisham in center. Judge obviously in right. 0-2 pitch. Popped him up. Going to be a tough play. Shallow center coming on Grisham. He'll make the catch. The infield was drawn in, but it hung up in time for Grisham to get in there. Garver stays put at third, 2 away.
Well, if Grisham wasn't playing in as well, I don't think he makes this catch. You had both Reyes. There you see Grisham. He was playing shallow. You have to with a man on third, the winning run. If he plays at normal depth, that might have dropped.
Here's Taveras. 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. 2 outs, bottom of the 10th. Winning run for Seattle on third. And that changeup looking sharp.
Yeah, it's nasty. When he gets on top of that changeup, it has such good movement away from a lefty.
Oh, 1. Taveras in 25 at-bats this year with runners in scoring position is hitting .360. (1-1) from Williams. Here it is. Gets the low strike call.
Well, that's a makeup. When you call that same pitch on Dominguez, there you see it's going to be at the bottom of the zone. Wells brings it up.
Time call by Taveras. Williams a pitch away from sending this to the 11th inning. One-two. Upstairs. Here's the rookie Williamson on deck. Garver at third. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Just got a piece of it. If the Yankees get to the 11th, due up would be Reyes, Wells, and Volpe. Williams will try and send him there. 2-2. Here's the pitch. And again, hit foul by Taveras. First time that Taveras is facing Williams. Williams ready. 2-2 again. Little tapper. There's LeMahieu. And they get him. Devin Williams retires the Mariners here in the 10th. We're off to the 11th in Seattle, tied at 1. Fans after the final out get highlights, analysis, club interviews, and hear from Aaron Boone on the Managers Report. That's all coming up on the W.B. Mason Yankees postgame. On to the 11th here in Seattle. Casey Legumina, right-hander that we saw yesterday, will come on and pitch the top of the 11th. Pablo Reyes will hit, and the ghost runner at second, Cody Bellinger.
So Legumina, fastball, sweeper change.
Pablo Reyes getting a chance to hit here. Only J.C. Escarra remains on the Yankee bench. The Yankees are trailing 1-0 since the 4th inning. Leadoff hitter in the 9th against Andre Munoz, Paul Goldschmidt, was hit by a pitch, eventually came into score on an error by the first baseman Dylan Moore. Roll it a short. Crawford gets the out. To third goes Bellinger. So Reyes with a productive out.
Yeah, that was a risky play for Bellinger. Usually when that ball's in front of you, you do not go to third. It was good hustle. He had a quick break, an early break. And Crawford had to go across the diamond.
Here's Wells. A double and a stolen base in the 7th. Sweeper fools him. And you see the infield drawn in for Seattle. Popped him up, and he'll stay in the infield. Moore. Beg your pardon, Tellez makes the catch. So Rowdy Tellez, who pinch hit in the 11th, retires Wells. Now it's Volpe. His at-bat tied the game. Let's see if this at-bat can give the Yankees the lead. There's Tim Hill in the bullpen. Bellinger at third, 2 out. And he gets the strike call. Does Legumina. Dominguez on deck. Another strike.
Well, the Mariners have been pitching Volpe away so far in these first 2 games.
Stays away, misses the plate. Three balls, 2 strikes. And Legumina's pitch. Off the outside corner, it's ball 4. Anthony Volpe walks to extend the inning. Good at bat. Good eye by Volpe.
I think you got to expect Volpe to try to get into scoring position.
You're playing extra innings on the road. You always want to try and get at least 2.
Yeah, you would love 1, but yeah, 2 is huge.
1 gives you the lead, but everyone says
you need 2 runs.
You
right
feel much better about yourself with 2 on the road in extras. So we'll see if Volpe try to get himself over at second base with Dominguez up, batting from the left side. It's been a fantastic duel of pitching all night. The starters and deep into the bullpens. First pitch to Dominguez. It's hit foul. Julio Rodriguez due up third in the bottom of the 11th for Seattle. Oh, 1. .312 hitter against righties. And a lot more at bats. Weak roller. Mastroboni there. And the side retired. Yankees come up empty in the top of the 11th. Bottom of the 11th coming up in Seattle. Well, one of the most highly anticipated Subway Series in years pulls into the Bronx this weekend, and it all starts on Yes. Special extended pregame coverage begins Friday at 5:30 with first pitch scheduled for shortly after 7 o'clock on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. That's one lively fan. That's another, I guess. It's a boot balance.
It's a rally boot.
If you're going to try and impress and balance the boot, let's clap your hands with a little bit more volume and speed. That's a cop-out.
Boot might fall off then.
Well, then what ability or talent are you really showing right there?
0. He probably has 0 anyway.
Leody Taveras, the runner at second as we start the bottom of the 11th. Tim Hill on to pitch. Mariners led 1-0 going to the 9th. Andres Munoz coughed up the lead on an error by Dylan Moore. His pitch shot into right center field. It's a base hit. Rounding third. Getting now the stop sign is Taveras. Strong throw from Grisham. And a good hold by third base coach Christopher Negron for the Mariners.
Well, the Yankees had the outfield playing in, and Grisham was really shallow. Nobody out, even though Taveras runs well. I'm not going to take that shot. It's a good throw. Now, this is a situation that Brad Osmus, he's bringing another glove. They're probably going to bring in a fifth infielder.
Yeah, Reyes is coming in from left field.
They'll have Grisham and Judge split the outfield.
J.P. Crawford will hit. Runners at the corners. Nobody out. Bottom of the 11th. And Reyes will be on the right side of second base.
That's not a bad idea. Tim Hill, he gets a lot of ground balls. You clog up that infield. Now, Taveras will probably wait till that ball gets through.
Slides down the left field line, and it is a fair ball. It's going to win the game for J.P. Crawford. Taveras scores. Mariners take it 2-1 in 11.
That was a heck of a pitching matchup. Both starters, like Shaq, like you said, they did an outstanding job, and the bullpens were outstanding. You pretty much knew there weren't going to be a whole lot of offense with Wu and Fried. Fried battled through 5. Tough loss for the Yankees after that comeback at 1 run in the 9th.
Take another look.
Well, just the first pitch fastball. Crawford shortens up his swing, goes the other way. You have 2 outfielders. A lot of chances if you can elevate the baseball, and that's what he did.
4th straight year that the Yankees have played an extra inning game here in Seattle. They won last year to clinch a playoff spot. They lose here in 11th thanks to J.P. Crawford. Time for the Cadillac drive of the game.
Well, it took 11 innings, but finally the Mariners came through. J.P. Crawford, first pitch fastball. Down the left field line, scored Taveras. They win 2-1.
The Yankees fall to 1-3 in extras this season. 3rd walk-off loss of the year as well for the Yanks, as the Mariners snap their 4-game skid. Legamina the win. Tim Hill takes the loss. He falls to 3-1. Cody Bellinger 1 for 5 of the double to extend his hit streak to 9 consecutive games as the Yankees fall here in 11. Coming up on the S Network, stay tuned for the W.B. Mason postgame show with Chris Sheeran and Jack Curry. Special thanks to producer Troy Benjamin, director Dan Barr, Mike Webb, and our executive producer is Jared Ames-Boschnack. Join us again tomorrow as the Yankees wrap up a 3-game series against the Mariners here in Seattle. Coverage begins at 3 o'clock on Yes. First pitch comes up shortly after 4 o'clock. Once again, the final score in 11. The Mariners 2, the Yankees 1. For Jeff Nelson and Meredith Morakovitz, I'm Justin Shackle. Now let's go to Chris Sheeran and Jack Curry, who are standing by with the postgame show.
Thank you, Shaq. Welcome back inside our Yes Network studios to the W.B. Mason postgame show. It was a battle of attrition out in the Pacific Northwest tonight. The Yankees trailed 1-0 most of the game, tied it up in the 9th, Jack. You got to tip your cap to both pitching staff. They did a great job, and that leads us to your Hyundai opening comment.
Yeah, dominant pitching was the theme of this game, and you mentioned it, Chris. Wu was terrific for the Mariners into the 7th inning. It was a grind for Max Fried tonight to get through 5 innings, but he held the Mariners to that 1 run. And I think the Yankees are going to lament that this is a game they could have swiped away from the Mariners. They scored a run without getting a hit in the 9th inning to be able to extend this into extra innings, but then the Mariners won the battle of the bullpens from that point on. Tim Hill only threw 3 pitches in the bottom of the 11th inning. He gave up 2 hits, including the game winner to J.P. Crawford. One other thing the Yankees will lament: 0 for 14 with runners in scoring position. They left 11 on base.
Yeah, they put a lot of traffic on the base pass late in the game. But, Jack, to your point, our Montefiore turning point of the game, brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees, is in the 11th inning.
Yeah, we're going to see Tim Hill on the mound for the Yankees. He is their 6th pitcher of the game, and he is going to be greeted with a base hit right there from Williamson. The runner was smartly held up at third because I think Grisham would have had a good chance to throw him out. But now it's one pitch to Crawford. He had been 2 for 4 in his career against Hill. A small sample size. Make that 3 for 5. He slices that sinker the other way. What makes Tim Hill great as a reliever is when he can get batters to hit the ball on the ground. The Yankees actually had 5 infielders at that moment. A smart strategic move, Chris, because Hill gets grounders so often. But in that moment, J.P. Crawford with a really nice job of slicing the baseball the other way and sending the Yankees to the loss.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head. The Yankees are going to look themselves in the mirror and they're going to say, we could have gotten this one tonight, but just a tough loss against the Mariners.
Yeah, tough loss because so many situations, especially once Wu was out of the game, where they had opportunities to do some damage and they were just not able to get that one hit that they were looking for. And Wu was electric for the Mariners. Fastballs and sinkers. He worked in sweepers. And it was really, for a Yankee team that had scored 56 runs in its last 6 games, it was the first time in a while that a pitcher had shut them down to that extent.
Yeah, the Yankees didn't get shut out tonight. Only shut out once this season by the Tigers. They get that 1 run across in the 9th inning. Trent Grisham with another multiple hit game. He was 3 for 6 last night, 2 for 5 tonight, 2 singles for Grisham. Aaron Judge had a hit, Cody Bellinger as well, and Austin Wells joined the hit party for the Yankees. Everyone else, though, did not join it. And how about this? Mark Wegner behind the plate tonight. We saw some questionable calls when Max Fried was out there. And how about this one to Jason Dominguez?
Yeah, that's after the Yankees had tied the game. You got the potential go-ahead run in scoring position. That pitch was down. And Wegner called it as a strike against Dominguez. You got Munoz on the mound. Look at where this pitch is. That's below the box. And it's below the box by a decent amount, Chris. That's not 1 inch. And we're seeing a reserved player in Dominguez. This is as animated as I've seen him get with an umpire, putting his hands up in the air and basically saying, how can you call that a strike?
Yeah, and Aaron Boone immediately came to his player's defense, and he got run from the game. And now we're going to hear from the Yankee manager. Aaron Boone, here's the Toyota manager's report.
Aaron, the Mariners pitching staff on a whole kept the offense very quiet tonight. Starting with Brian Wu, how was he able to keep you guys so off balance?
Well, I mean, he's one of the real good ones, and I thought his secondary stuff was really good today. So, you know, you got to get on that heater, and even when you know that's coming, it's difficult to really stick. I thought we had some good swings against that fastball where we just missed a couple. But I thought his secondary was good. He was in the strike zone with us. No free passes. You know, he was tough.
You look at that 9th inning, you had a little something going there. Dominguez called out on what looked like a low strike. Was it just that call in particular with Mark Wegner, or was it a buildup from the game?
No, it was that, and I wasn't even going out to argue. I mean, you know, obviously it was a bad call, and everyone knew it, and you don't see JD react like that. So I was trying to just go out and make sure JD was staying in the game. So, you know, I didn't think – I was trying to get my player out of there, and I thought it was, you know, kind of a quick run there. So that's all it was. Clearly, you know, he missed one in a big spot there.
You didn't say anything that you think warranted that?
I mean, I kind of yelled at, but I was more trying to be a distraction and getting JD out of there. So I thought it was a little quick.
For Max Fried, it seemed like a little bit of a grind for him this evening. Still 5 innings, allowed just 1 run, kept you in the game. Just what were you seeing from your vantage point?
Yeah, it was a grind for him. I thought that. Stuff was fine. You know, I thought they pressured him well. You know, he had that, 5-pitch first inning. But then I thought they just took a lot of tough at-bats against him. They made him work. They spoiled a lot of pitches. You know, they kind of neutralized, I thought, his breaking ball a little bit with some good swings and some takes. So just a tough night, but, you know, did everything to keep us in a game and give us a chance to win.
When somebody throws 28 pitches in 1 inning, is that something that you look to see what happens? Did you know it was coming to the end there, that 1 inning after that?
For Max?
Yeah.
When did he throw the 28? In the last one? Oh, no, not necessarily. I mean, because with Max, you know, he's a different animal. Like, I mean, but that being said, I thought the whole night for him was a bit of a grind, and he's just, you know, kind of a testament again to how good he is, being able to limited him to 1 run through 5 innings on a night when, he had to work pretty hard.
Did he tell you he thought he got the call right? It looked like you guys were going back and forth. You were saying
I mean, I'm not going to get into it. I think we saw, everyone saw it, so he did initially, but yeah.
Is Goldschmidt all right? Did you get handled in?
Yes. Yeah.
You got 5 perfect innings from the bullpen right after Max. What did you see out of those guys today?
Yeah. Cruz and Leiter were lights out. I think Cruz struck out the side, Leiter the first 2. And then, we was really efficient for those 2 innings. And then Devin with the ghost runner, I thought just watching up here, made a ton of really good pitches, execute. And, and then, when you don't score in those extra innings, it puts the home team at a real advantage. So we're kind of up against it there. But we threw the ball really well tonight. We just didn't get a big hit with runners in scoring position. That, the chances we did have. And in those situations, I thought we got some good swings off. I thought Belly had a lot of really good swings all night where he just missed some pitches. But we just couldn't cash in on those chances we had.
Williams is over his early struggles now. I mean, he's now had a couple of these.
Randy, he's a really good pitcher. I'm not going to play the over. We all see what he is. He's and now he's been 10th inning his last couple times. He's going to have a rough one at some point, but that's who he is right there.
It's good to get DJ's feet wet.
Yeah, definitely. Right into the fire there, into tough game right there. So, yeah, definitely. I think good to get him in there, ahead of tomorrow's.
We've all seen what this Yankees offense has done all season long, so let's just tip the cap really quick to Brian Wu and the rest of the Mariners who pitched tonight, Jack. They really did a heck of a job.
Yeah, we talked on the pregame about how Wu would be a challenge. He doesn't walk anybody. He comes right at hitters. He's efficient. You heard Boone talking about his secondary stuff. He used that secondary stuff against Judge to get a strikeout. That sweeper that looks so tantalizing, looks like it's going to be a strike, and then bends out of the zone. But you heard Boone also talking about the call against Dominguez that got him thrown out of the game. You don't want to harp on one call when your team didn't have a hit with runners in scoring position and left so many on base, but that did short-circuit a potential rally there. And one thing about the Yankees in close games, they're now 4-9 in 1-run games this season. They're 7-14 in games decided by 2 runs or fewer. Chris, they're a good team, and they're in first place in their division. Usually teams that have those kinds of talent that the Yankees do, you're better in those close games.
All right, Jack, we're going to step aside, take our first break here on the W.B. Mason postgame show. When we come back, we have much more to do here in our Yes Network studio. Stick with us here and streaming on the Gotham Sports app.
The Yankees postgame show on Yes is presented by W.B. Mason. Get fast free delivery of food service products you need at prices you'll love. Request your free catalog today at WBMason.com. The Yankees postgame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Hyundai dealers. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Visit HyundaiUSA.com today.
One of the most highly anticipated Subway Series in years pulls into the Bronx this weekend, and it all starts on Yes. Special extended pregame coverage begins Friday at 5:30 with first pitch scheduled for shortly after 7. And it's on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Way back in the pregame show when we started here tonight, we were talking about how runs were going to be at a premium with the 2 guys who started for their respective clubs. And Jack, we start with Max Fried. He didn't really have his best stuff tonight, didn't have the command there, but he still gutted and grinded his way through 5 innings for Aaron Boone. In the bottom of the 3rd, full count to Leote Taveras. And he gets a swing and miss on the inside fastball. And then J.P. Crawford steps in. Even count 2-2, goes down swinging on the outside cutter to end the inning. And now Cal Raleigh in the bottom of the 4th, StatCast powered by Google Cloud, his at bat.
Yeah, there's a runner on first, so Fried is trying to make sure that he stays there. His first pitch to Raleigh is a sinker, and Raleigh fouls it back. He's going to come back with a high fastball, see if he can get him to chase. He doesn't chase. Now in a 1-1 situation, third pitch of the at-bat. Fried is going to come back in with a four-seam fastball, and this double is over the head of Grisham, who gets a little bit twisted up there. His route to the ball was not true. Not sure he would have gotten it anyway, but that RBI double delivers Rodriguez all the way from first, gives the Mariners a 1-0 lead. Bottom of the fifth, it's Williamson at the plate. He can't hold up on the high fastball. This is going to be Fried's last inning, and he finishes with a flourish. He gets Crawford on a sinker for the K, and then he has Rodriguez at the plate. He blows a fastball by him, so 3 Ks in that final inning. He ended up pitching 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, struck out 5, walked 2. That's the pitch breakdown, Chris, but this was a night where Max Fried did have to grind. Didn't seem like he had a great feel for his pitches or the way the pitches were coming out of his hand.
Yeah, 21 pitches as we saw in the first 2 innings, Jack, then 22 in the third and 29 in that fourth. And as Aaron Boone said, tough at bats by the Mariners. He had to grind, and they spoiled a lot of pitches.
When we have praised Max Fried this year, we've talked about his pitchability and his ability to put hitters away. He threw 91 pitches tonight. They had 23 foul balls, so that's what they were doing. They were extending at-bats. They were making him have longer innings, and that's why those 91 pitches only covered 5 innings. And when you think about the fact, Chris, that he did have a 5-pitch first inning, those next 4 innings, the Mariners really made him work.
They did, and Brian Wu is our optimum player of the game. He started opposite of Fried, and we take you to the top of the second on a 2-2 count. Wu gets his first strikeout of the day as he fools Austin Wells with a change. Next batter, Anthony Volpe, gets called out on strikes on the 4-seamer.
Top of the fourth, here's that at-bat we referenced earlier. It's Wu against Judge, and that's a really nice sweeper. He gets Judge to expand, something Judge rarely does. The next batter is Bellinger. He chases the high fastball and goes down. Top of the fifth, Wu is going to go back to his 4-seam fastball to get Dominguez. He comes out in the 6th. Bivas swings over a fastball. Stat line, 6 in the third innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, struck out 6. Only pitcher in the majors to go at least 6 innings in every one of his starts this year.
And against that 4-seamer coming into tonight's action, the opposition hitting 176, and tonight they were 0 for 11. With 4 strikeouts. We're going to step aside, take another break here on the WB Mason postgame show. When we return, we will hear from Jason Dominguez. That's next, right here on Yes. The Yankees postgame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Kia dealers. Visit Kia.com to discover movement that inspires. The Gotham Sports app is your new home for streaming live Yankees games and so much more. And it's free with an eligible TV provider subscription. Download the Gotham Sports app now or visit GothamSports.com to get streaming. Now it's time for the highlights from tonight's game, brought to you by Ford. Bottom of the second, Max Fried. In a bit of an early jam, runners on first and second, 1 out, but on the 3-1 count, he gets Solano to ground into the big double play to end the inning. In the bottom of the fourth, after a leadoff single by Julio Rodriguez, next batter Cal Raleigh, he catches up to the fastball by Fried, carries over the head of Grisham, and off the wall. Julio hustles around to score from first. Mariners strike first on the ribby double by Raleigh. And then a few batters later, 2 outs and 2 on. And Solano back up after a 12-pitch battle. Fried gets him to fly out to Grisham in center. That avoids further damage. Mariners up 1-0 through 4. Bottom 6, Fernando Cruz on in relief for the Yanks. And he will pump in a heater here for strike 3. Strikes out the side. Impressive inning for Cruz.
Moving ahead to the 7th, the Mariners decide to pull Wu. He gives way to Gabe Spire. It's Spire against Dominguez. Dominguez has struggled from the right side all season. He whiffs on the slider, and then Peraza was just overwhelmed on 3 pitches by Spire. The Yankees strand 2. Top of the ninth, the impenetrable Munoz is on. Has not allowed an earned run all season. Volpe is up with a runner on third. The throw is going to come home, and it's going to be a ride. The throw from Solano goes past the catcher. Volpe's going to go all the way to second. That ties up the game. But then we've talked about that pitch right there. That was low. Dominguez argues it. Boone gets thrown out of the game. It ends up being the second out of the inning. Helps short-circuit a potential rally for the Yankees. We see Boone is going to get his money's worth against Wegner. Bottom of the 11th now, Tim Hill on with runners on the corners against J.P. Crawford. First pitch swinging against Crawford. He slices that one down the left field line. It's a walk-off single for him. The Mariners win 2-1.
And we take a look at the game summary here. Max Fried, those 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, struck out 5, walked 2. Brian Wu pitches into the 7th, scattering 4 hits, allowing no runs, no walks, and 6 strikeouts. Jack just talked about that pitch to Jason Dominguez, and now our Meredith Marakovitz tees up the first question in the clubhouse to the Martian.
Jason, Brian Wu really seemed to be dealing tonight. What made him so tough out there?
I think he got a really good outing. He made really good pitches today, so his performance was good.
Is there anything in particular about his stuff?
I mean, not just how he performed today. He, like I said before, he just was making some good pitches.
You guys had a runner on, had just scored there in that 9th inning. How surprised were you that was a called third strike there?
I mean, I was surprised because it was low. Obviously, like, I mean, it is what it is, but I was shocked.
You don't usually say a lot to umpires. You were talking to Mark a little bit there. What were you saying to him? It didn't seem like you were particularly heated with him. What were you saying?
I mean, I was mad, obviously, for the call in that situation, but I'm not going to say what I said to him, but I said some words.
How did it feel seeing Aaron Boone come out and defend you?
I mean, he's our manager, and I'm saying that not just with me, with everybody. He always taking care of our back.
Did you have any issues with the calls earlier in the game or earlier in the at-bat, or was that the only one?
That was the only one, like in the entire game.
We saw that at bat in the 7th inning with Jason Dominguez, Jack, and the splits righty-lefty for him are stark. How do you see this shaking out?
Yeah, the OPS with him from the left side is over 900. The OPS from the right side about 500. So you know the Mariners know that. They bring a lefty in, and Dominguez has to hit from the right side. Chris, the way that you figure out how to hit from the right side and how to be better against lefties is you just need the reps. And we've seen Dominguez get some opportunity this year, and it is going to be something that he is going to have to figure out. I remember talking to Bernie Williams, who is a middle-of-the-order switch hitter, such a great player for the Yankees. He said as a switch hitter, there are sometimes where that side that you're not performing at, you're aching to get better at it. Dominguez is still a kid, but he needs to get those reps to be able to figure that out. That last swing against Spire, who was a tough pitcher against that slider. I mean, he was totally fooled on that pitch.
All right, we're going to step aside, take another break here on the postgame show. When we come back, we will hear from tonight's Yankees starter, Max Fried. That's next right here on Yes. Yankees post-game show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com. Take a look at Max Fried's numbers tonight. This is the first time he started this season that the Yankees ended up losing the game. The Bombers dropped to 8-1 when Fried toes the bump. Now let's take a listen to the Genesis sounds of the game. Max Fried with Meredith Marakovitz and the rest of the media.
Max, you certainly kept your team in it and gave them a chance to win 5 innings, just 1 run. But did you feel like it was a bit of a grind out there for you today?
Yeah, definitely. They put together some really good at-bats and, drew my pitch count up, especially after a really quick first. I think it was, something like 85 pitches in the next 4. So
definitely had to make pitches and dig deep, and got bailed out by some really great defense.
You look at that fourth inning in particular, Solano with that 12-pitch at-bat, just to your point of them driving your pitch count up. What was it about their approach that kind of made you work so much?
They were in at every pitch, just being able to, foul off a lot. They were on time, and they were definitely ready for what I was throwing, and sometimes that's the way the game shakes out. So you just got to figure out how to make pitches and do whatever that may be, whether it's different locations or trying to get a little bit more swing and miss. But definitely was fighting some command at times too. So just really give a lot of credit to Austin, helping me get through, and some good conversations and giving me a blow at times too. So.
You said that it was a grind tonight. Did the stuff feel any different than the first 6-7 starts that you had, or was it just strictly a command thing? Why was it grind?
I think it was just a little mix of everything. Yes, whether it's command, I would say probably command, and also you face a team that had a really good approach, and it happens.
Been impressed with what you've seen from Williams this last few outings after a tough start here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, another big spot with the guy on second base and stranded it, and he's extremely special, and he showed it again tonight.
Fried has been an absolute Superman for the Yankees this season, Jack. And he might have had an off night. It might have been a grind, but still 5 innings and just 1 earned run.
Right. I think that's a testament to who he is, that on a night where you could watch him and say he seems a little bit off. He's not exactly the crisp, sharp pitcher he has been. Nelly did a great job, Jeff Nelson, of pointing out he wasn't getting the snap on the curveball that he typically gets. The fastball wasn't hitting the spots, but yet he still leaves down 1-0 after 5 innings. That Solano at bat that Meredith asked about was interesting to me, Chris. Though he got the out, 12-pitch at-bat. Solano at one point in that at-bat fouled off 5 straight pitches. I think the Mariners came into this game with an approach against Fried of being aggressive. He's usually dictating how at-bats are going to go. I think they were trying to get to him early and taking away some of what he was trying to do against them. And again, he still only allowed 1 run. It was the Yankee offense that just couldn't do anything against Seattle.
All right, Jack, we're going to step aside, take another break here on the WB Mason postgame show. More to do when we return. The Yankees postgame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today. Wednesday night, host Gracie Cashman sits down with Anthony Volpe for an entertaining look at the numbers that have defined his career. Watch the season premiere, The Story of My Number, presented by the New York Lottery. That's Wednesday following Yankees coverage on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. And our Memorable Moments is presented by Prevagen, made for your brain, and it has to deal with Oswald Peraza. Jack.
And he's flashing the leather at third. Third inning, Williamson with the dribbler. Peraza chargers, fires to first, guns him down. This is athleticism, this is instincts, and then a really good throw to get the out. With Cabrera and on the IL, Peraza's going to get some playing time, and the Yankees want to see him make plays like this. Moves to his left to corral that sharp liner. Looks around, doesn't have another play, but Peraza's going to see a lot of reps now that Cabrera is out, and he acquitted himself well on the defensive side tonight.
He did indeed, and Jack, Cody Bellinger extended his hitting streak to 9 games with that first inning double that he hit moments ago. He met up with Meredith in the media.
You had the double off of Wu there in that first inning. Aside from that, offense didn't get too much going against him. Just what was he doing that made it so tough in the batter's box tonight?
Yeah, he's got a really good heater, and, we knew that going in, and I think he just executed his pitches really well. And, there were a few opportunities there for us to score, and when I was up and, I couldn't come through. So, hopefully we'll wake up tomorrow and get him tomorrow.
Do you expect them to walk Judge there in the 10th?
100%. Yeah, you 100% walking Judge there. And, I knew I was I was going to get up there with the guy on first and second, and had a good game plan. I just didn't come through, and I got to be a little better in that one.
You guys seem to really have Devin's back when he had some struggles early on. Impressed with how he's kind of rebounded here in some big outings with.
Yeah, this game is very difficult, and I think it's, we're all brothers in here. We all got each other's backs, and, he's got really nasty stuff. I've faced him multiple times in the Central these last 2 years, and, it's all about confidence and understanding that we got his back and through the good and the bad.
One more break here on the post-game show. When we come back, we will discuss the starters for tomorrow. Will Warren will tow it up for the Yankees. That's next right here on Yes. The Yankees post-game show on Yes is brought to you in part by FanDuel. All FanDuel customers can make every dinger on Tuesdays mean more with a profit boost from FanDuel. Time now for a look at the Nissan pitching probables for later today. It'll be Luis Castillo coming off a loss against the Blue Jays, and Will Warren, Jack, coming off his best start ever.
Yeah, he was terrific against the A's. Pitched into the 8th inning, struck out 7. The Mariners have never seen him. We'll see if that ends up being an advantage for Warren, but Warren has the ability to be a successful major league pitcher. It's about consistency and reliability and doing exactly what he did against the A's, inning after inning, making sure that he attacks and that he's aggressive. The Yankees have a lot of belief in him. His four-seam fastball has been terrific. Batters hitting under 150 against it this year.
Well, we'll see if he could build on his last outing. We'll see if the Yankees offense will bounce back. When we come back here in studio later on today, our coverage begins at 3 o'clock with Nancy Newman. The Yankees batting practice today. Jack and I have you covered with the pre- and post-game show. Thanks for sticking with us all night long, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow, or today, right?